Has a
guys.
Snowball here has a bad porn reference to it. So
I think I have that streaming to my live channel now. I don't know.
You do. Let's see here. Yeah, you do. I see it
Okay.
up there. Yeah.
Perfect. Yep. All right. Perfect.
You didn't do it in
fine.
yours, Ray, right?
No, I didn't do it yet. No.
Okay, yeah, then it's yours, Shane. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah. No, that's fine.
Well, happy birthday to Amari.
Yeah, congrats to Amari. Turned 10. Very nice.
Oh, hey, happy birthday. Tell him we all said happy birthday and we're all giving him a nice little cheers.
There you go. Birthday boy in the house. So I'm going to have to get another beer in a second. But
I was thinking the same thing.
I did stay up on the comments. She says, I will, of course. Yes, I don't have a happy birthday thing on my effects, but we'll give him a little applause for his 10-year birthday.
Sure.
5 or 6 years away from driving a car, 11 years from taking his first beer legally.
Yeah, legally, that's right. I'm glad you added that in. It's funny. I just realized I just had the notification pop up that I'm streaming live on my live channel, and it says drinks with Rod J.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, I can't spell. Apparently, I cannot spell.
It'll make you sound more hip, though. So yeah.
We have it Wit Rod J. It's Wit Rod J. Yeah, well, Wit Rod J.
Grab your guitar and start rapping, Shane.
Yeah.
You guys know I can't sing. I can't rap. Yes, the stream show is up on my end, Shane. Thank you, Vanessa.
There you go. See, so.
Don't comment on that one though, because I can't see it because I'm not watching.
Back at you, Sparkles. Back at you. Great to see you. It's definitely been such a long time.
Hey, Blue Ice is on.
Look at Blue. See, Blue goes to your channel. He doesn't go to my channel.
My man
Blue goes to your channel. See, that's so luckily we opened it up over there. So
my man Blue, what is going on, my friend? Good to see you. God, I miss that guy. Yeah. He's like the coolest guy. Have you ever met Blue Ice Rod?
I've not met Blue yet. No.
He's like the coolest chill dude you'll ever meet in your entire life. What a great guy. I was so happy when I met him. I was like, oh, this guy's just like so cool.
Georgia. If I go to Georgia and catch him, Brian, and then John Pierre all in one swoop. If I go that way.
he's got some great advice when you're walking through the not so nice parts of Chicago that you really should heed and not talk to the locals that look like you probably should.
Oh, you never talk to the locals, you know. Or the people that come up and ask you for money. Nope, just walk right by them. Don't even acknowledge them.
See, and that's the problem with me and Ray being Canadian. We're just very friendly, so we're like, we don't want to say hi to everybody. And Blue would just be like, yeah, don't talk to them. Like, okay, just head down and walk right past them, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, first time we got out of the Airbnb, Blue's like, yep, just head down straight to the train, and first group of guys we run into, I was like, hey guys, what's going on?
I did the same thing, and I'm right behind him, going, hey guys, how are you? You know
what's the answer the first guy gives me? You're not from around here, are you?
Yeah.
No, we're not.
Like, nope, Canada.
Well, see, you guys like one of my friends when I was in college. He was from Malaysia, and the first time he went to New Jersey, he was trying to figure people out because he would be like looking at people, like just kind of picking up and seeing how people are. As you go, you're a new place, you're kind of checking things out.
Yep.
And then you don't look at people like in New Jersey. It's like, and next thing you know, somebody's like, "What the fuck are you looking at?" Like he's about to get in a fight. He has no idea why he's getting in a fight. But if you look too long at people, that's what ends up happening. So yeah.
Right.
Got to learn the lay of the land for sure. Snowball is a Christmas cocktail here made with Avocat, which is custard brandy liqueur from Holland mixed with lemonade. Okay. Yeah, Snowball means something else. Well, they might have the drink, but it's Snowball to some people just brings up, depends on your past. If you saw porno, it brings up something different.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to picture Avocat with lemonade.
I've never heard of Avocat before.
It's a creamy kind of liqueur. I think it's egg based, if I'm not mistaken.
So I'm picturing ultra curdly and like vomity.
Yeah, and that's why I'm trying to figure out, because I know Avocat, it's one of those ones that like once you open it, you got to chill it because I think it's got a pretty high egg content in it. So I'm trying to picture that with lemonade, and I don't know if that would go very well together.
I'm laughing because your description could almost match the other Snowball I was talking about. If you ever have a minute of something you don't need that time, Pull it up on Urban Dictionary. You'll see what it means.
Fair enough. Fair enough. For sure. Oh my God. That's too funny.
Oh.
All right. So I'm going to grab a quick beer here, guys. I will be back in 2 seconds because, as you know, my fridge is right behind my backdrop here. So I'll be right back.
All right. Sweet. Is your birthday today, Vanessa? You were 52 years ago now. So does that mean you're 62 now? Was today your birthday? Shane, I love your Christmas decorations. And she just saw him move the curtain.
Ignore the man behind the curtain.
That's
right. She said, I love your Christmas decoration, but right then you moved the curtain, which was hilarious.
Oh yeah. This is. I don't know if anybody's been watching my advent calendar, but this is actually the second backdrop. I used the other one for the first 12 days. I picked these up on Amazon for like $20.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, and it's like I think it's 5x7 or something like that. And they were $20 each, and I thought it was, for $40, I got a nice little backdrop for doing. I mean, obviously, I've got the camera kind of messed up, and it's not quite perfect right now.
It's fine.
It looks fine.
But yeah. Well, I originally maybe wanted to just do like a green screen back here, but I'm only like 1.5 feet in front of it. So I know on a green screen you're going to get that green screen.
Looks really good now.
Take the glasses
really
off.
Or maybe if I do
especially
it like
through this eye.
It's all crooked. It's all whatever.
I can't see nothing through this one right now.
So you fighting something right now?
Yeah, I had a cold last week, and then on the weekend I was feeling really good, and then just Tuesday this week it started creeping back up on me. I don't know what's going on.
Well, I think there was I know Mal is just getting over the flu. Right. She's trying to fight through, but I know like down here I have friends that were saying they were getting hit with the virus and stuff. They thought like I don't know, and it's been going around some stomach and type stuff. So
yeah, well, it's funny. My wife saw me tonight when I got back from. I was in Toronto for an event, and she's like, "Yeesh, you should go up to the pharmacy. They can prescribe stuff now for basic things." And I was like, "All right." So I went up. Pharmacist is looking at it. He's like, "Oh," he goes, "Let me have a better look at that." I leaned in. He's like, "Any like white stuff?" I was like, "Yeah, a little bit." And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Could be bacterial conjunctivitis or pink eye." But he said it's too early yet. I don't want to prescribe anything. He's like, and then he stops for a second. He goes, "Did you have a cold last week?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, I'm just getting over it now." And he's like, "Yeah, here, just use this for a couple of days and see what happens." So obviously he's very familiar with whatever I'm fighting right now. So,
well, it's kind of cool that your pharmacies can prescribe like that and not have to go to the doctor.
Yeah, very basic things now they can do. It's just new this year. So,
yeah. I've noticed that at my pharmacy too. Like if it's like, cough, cold, just simple things, the pharmacy can prescribe it, which is cool because it saves you from going to the doctor if it's something simple. Rather than having to wait.
There's so many people without family doctors right now down up here. It's crazy.
Oh, dude, I literally just got a family doctor last year, and it took me a long time to find one.
Yep.
And I have to go to Grimsby. That's where my doctor is.
Yep.
So, because like in my local area, like Niagara Falls, St. Catharines, the major cities around me, I couldn't find a doctor. I had to go. I mean, Grimsby's only like half-hour drive down the highway, but still, I had to go out of town to find a doctor. It was crazy.
So is it like up there? Like you guys are undermanaged, whatever? Like there's not enough doctor care, you think, or?
Yeah, there's not
that. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it's really hard. Like if you don't have a family doctor, it's hard to find one.
Yeah, the population has increased with all of the new Canadians coming in, and doctors were retiring, and there just wasn't enough coming out of the med schools, and a lot of new Canadians are coming over with all the credentials to be doctors, but it's just not recognized here in Canada. So,
well, if they pay off some of the American student loans for some of the doctors here, I bet you some Americans come up there to be doctors. Yeah. Down here, I know like some of my friends that were pharmacists, like they get deals where, as long as you stay at that pharmacy for 2 or 3 years, they'll pay off your loan or whatever.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Right. And see, that was my problem. Like my original doctor, just got old and retired.
Yep.
So thankfully, another doctor took over his practice. So he took on all of his patients. So I had that guy for 1 year, and then he retired, and there was no other doctor coming in. So it's kind of like
wow.
you're without a doctor. So I went without a doctor for a couple of years, which is fine. I mean, I don't get sick very often. But then when I had my other medical stuff that I've got now, it was like I need a doctor, and it took me forever to find one.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been 4 years since I've had anything really to speak of. So, relatively healthy. And I mean, I work with thousands of people every week. So,
yes, you do.
As do you.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That's the thing with what we do. Like I said, Ray and I both, we deal with thousands of people on a weekly basis, and it's you can catch anything in any. But that's the good thing is we become kind of immune. I know I have.
Yeah.
Like colds and stuff like that. Like I rarely get a cold. Like it's so rare because with my industry, it is probably one of the dirtiest industries that there is. Believe it or not.
Oh yeah,
it really is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Mercy says he's seen your channel before, Shane. Usually when Paul was besmirching you, when PA Blue.
Oh yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah, for sure.
We call Drew the Canadian Paul, so Paul's like the American Drew.
Yes, that is exactly correct. That is exactly correct.
Walking around New York City late night, you just wear the military fatigues to keep most away. Yeah.
Yep.
Weird eggnog-based stuff, I think. Yeah, that's the custard type drink there. Lemonade custards are pretty good.
Huh.
Avocat is heat treated so it doesn't curdle.
Oh, okay. Like I said, I've only ever had one bottle of Avocat. Like when I was, you can't see it behind me. I have quite an extensive bar behind me. If you've never seen it, and I bought it one time to try and do some cocktails, and it was like one of those liqueurs. I was like, it's okay. I can understand how some people like it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Wasn't in my personal wheelhouse. I mean, I drank it. It was fine, but it's just not something I would go for on a regular basis. That's for sure.
Yeah, I actually do remember now because I think yours was the day before Shannon. We were talking about that
That's
night.
right.
Yeah.
I remember that chat.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good. Some of our chats you just don't remember because you drank so many beers.
Yes.
Well, and that's the problem.
Go ahead, Shane.
I was gonna say that's the problem with these lives. Like, you get, I'm gonna have a beer, and then you have another beer, and the conversation's good as always on Rod J's channel.
Yep.
And you have another beer, and it's like, I got to get off because I can barely talk anymore.
Yeah.
Sinus flu was going around over where Adam was 2 weeks ago. A steam room sorted me. Yeah, getting the steam. Usually a little tea with some whiskey, a little hot toddy action can help.
Yeah, I got some scotch up there. I was thinking of making some tea and throwing a little bit of that in there.
That'd be nice.
And honey and tea.
I got some. I think I got some cognac on the back of my bar here, Ray. I can run it over.
I'm good.
Okay, I'm just saying if you prefer cognac, I think I've got a bottle sitting up on my.
I probably do, but the scotch will work.
Yeah, that works.
Just like Ron Burgundy, he likes scotch. Yeah, see, the doctors are going over there. They're going to England.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like the transfer portal in college sports now. Saw the VA doctor a few weeks ago. Sinus infection was not an infection. Say yes, it pretty much is. She consulted with ENT and just sent me an antibiotic. So Vanessa's telling the doctor what the doctor did. That's funny. Just go with Vanessa. When there's any doubt, go with Vanessa.
Yep.
Healthy. I consider seeing the sunrise each morning a thrill. Yeah, if you're on the upside of the ground, you're doing good. So,
dude, I see a sun in like spring, summer, fall. I see a sunrise every morning as I'm leaving work.
Yep.
So. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Eggnog is a curdle with the booze. The duck eggnog. Cooking it and tempering it matters for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Paul, he thinks I'm Rob again. So just saying, cheer, Rob and gents. Got to bust Paul's balls on that one there.
You always got to bust Paul's balls.
How many years do you have Rob in there? Come on, man.
I've got a feeling Paul does it on purpose.
He does sometimes.
He probably does. That sounds like something Paul would do. He'd probably do that on purpose for sure.
Absolutely. Happy upcoming birthday this weekend as he's going to be camping and hit whatever breweries he can find along the way. Very nice. Brother.
Awesome. Happy birthday, Paul.
Correct.
Happy birthday, man.
I just have to screw with you, Paul. I have to screw with you. APA from Vanessa as well. So yeah, so you got some good breweries there, obviously in Pennsylvania, Paul, and a lot of people lately have been really rolling with the Trogs. I will say that I've seen more and more Trogs videos popping up lately.
Yeah, I've never tried that stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
I got lucky. I got lucky because Wayne from Bucks County Beer Review sent me up a package not too long ago. I sent him down a package. He sent me up one, and it was all Trogs beers, and they were all really good.
Yeah,
I was quite impressed because
Trogs is pretty solid.
Yeah, because sometimes you'll get a couple beers that are like, oh, this is really good. And then, of course, they always have the 1 or 2 or 3 that are like, can take it or leave it. But all the Trogs ones that Wayne sent me were just great. They were really, really good.
That's
really
awesome.
Good. Nice. Yeah. Mercy said, cheers. Paul says, at least I'm not hard pouring beers like some people.
Paul, why, look here. Look on this screen right here, this one in the corner. Okay, there you go.
Wow.
I love you, buddy. You're awesome. No, I like Paul's great. He's super cool. He just tells you, he tells you how it is, and he's just brutally honest, and I love it.
Paul comes in hot.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. Like I said, you either like the hard pour or you don't like the hard pour. There's no in between. There's really not.
Well, you look at it, and when I was doing my beer journey over with the second part of my lifetime, however long I've been doing it now, but and studying some of the things around, like from England. I haven't been to England, but reading about some of the stuff you go to, like they don't expect their beer to be like instantly to them. Like they'll pour it down the middle, and they'll let it settle, then they'll pour on top again, then they'll pour on top again, and it's a whole event, and they're sitting there having a conversation with someone until the beer's ready. So. Someone's like over here when we speed it up and stuff like that. So nothing wrong, as long as it works for you, it's the big thing.
Exactly. I just hate waiting for my beer.
Yeah.
But and again, this is one thing I struggled with for a while, because like you'd have channels like, Brian and like Brian the Beer Snob and Dave Stevie, and these guys always hard pour. Now, years ago, if you go back and look at my videos, I never hard poured at all. And I was like, oh, why are you guys doing that? I don't understand. And then when I went down to the beer reviewers get together last year in Atlanta, and I was talking to Brian, he's like, just try it a couple times. And I'm like, okay, I'll try anything, right? I don't give a crap, because my way is not always the best way. And I tried hard pouring, and I was like, oh, this, I enjoy this. It's visually exciting. Mm-hmm. You're getting a whole lot more aroma, and you lose like literally like this much carbonation. You don't lose as much carbonation as say somebody like Drew would tell you. Because he says it goes instantly flat. Mind you, he's been hard pouring lately. Have you guys noticed that on his channel?
Yes, he's
been hard pouring a lot, not just stouts. He's been hard pouring a lot of stuff. And he's like, when I took Brian there last weekend or 2 weeks ago, he was like, yeah, he goes, I'm starting to come around. You guys are starting to come around, because he realizes it's not as bad.
I find with the hard pour, I don't feel nearly as bloated as I drink.
You won't because
that little tiny bit of carbonation that you lose, I think it's a big thing.
Well, you release the gases and stuff when you do it. Now, the problem, because there's some you can pour right down the middle. It's one school of thought, right? Another school of thought is you pour, like I usually will pour 45 until almost halfway, and then I pour down the middle. That's how you're supposed to do it if you're doing it that way, so you still release the gases.
Yeah,
the wrong school of thought that you see in a lot of even breweries or bars and stuff, they'll 45 degree until it's like this much left for the glass. They don't try to straighten it out. That's the wrong way to do it. They're going too far when they're doing it.
Absolutely.
So it's in the education of how you're actually supposed to do that. So
absolutely, yeah. Like I said, everybody's got their own way. Everybody's got their own preference. Like I said, I hard pour now, and half of that is because I enjoy the way it looks. I enjoy the way the aroma. And the aroma is, I think, like 70% of your taste.
Yeah.
It's something like that anyway. Aroma has a lot to do with the taste. Half of it, and some of it is just for, like my stomach issues, because less carbonation is better for me.
Better for
not that I like a flat beer by any means at all, but it just takes out those little extra gases. So for me, that's what I prefer. But like I said, just the visual, that cascade of the bubbles disappearing, especially in a dark beer. That if you get a Guinness, like I'm not a big fan of Guinness. Everybody knows that, because there's way better stouts out there than Guinness, as far as I'm concerned. But you can't buy a better Cascade than a Guinness, though. The way that Cascade comes up is just absolutely gorgeous, and I can sit there and watch that all day. It is so nice.
Well, we get some here, like, because like when I did I had the Left Hand head brewer on a few weeks ago. Their nitros in America, they've become like the American nitro brewery, so you get a lot of that out of their stuff there now too. That they've kind of been able to do that. So you get some of the spot, but Guinness is the one that most people are accustomed to because they did create that initial widget and stuff. So I don't think you're ever going wrong with the nitro. I like the nitro feel and stuff. Some people with the carbonation, because it gives them that cream feel when you have that nitro, I'm good with it. So it's all about your preference. Blake's in the house. Cheers, Blake. What is up, homie?
TV.
Blake, cheers.
Hardport a nitro stout. That's right. Hardport straight down.
One
Nitro.
You should hard pour all your stouts, as far as I'm concerned.
Which, if you guys like Belgian white, I will say definitely to check out their Belgian white ale. And I'm seeing more people actually look at it now. But I had a can when they sent it to me, that candy cane nitro stout. Now I know, Shane, because I was going to ask you about your thing, because I know I saw the peppermint stout, how you kind of brace yourself for it. But if you like the taste of a candy cane, this Left Hand nitro stout they did is like perfect, like it's a candy cane type beer. So
nice.
Right.
So what was the affinity there with the peppermint? Like, you're just not a huge fan of peppermint, I know, but
it's just the peppermint flavor itself. Like I said, I try to be as fair as I can with the beers I review. I'm not a big peppermint fan, but the peppermint stout was actually pretty decent. There wasn't a whole lot of peppermint, but there was just enough in there to let you know that, hey, there's peppermint in here. But if they took the peppermint out of that beer, I would have preferred it more. It was a good stout. Just that peppermint flavor in it kind of threw me off a bit. And I think TK had mentioned something on my video about he likes peppermint, and it was R Shea, I think, as a brewery, and he said they make a good peppermint stout. And I just said, if I'm ever at your house during Christmas and there's candy canes missing off your tree, you can rest assured that I did not take them because I'm not a big peppermint candy cane kind of fan. I never have been, for sure.
Yeah,
cool. All right, well, boys, I'm gonna have to jump off here. I got to actually head over to where Shane works and pick up my kid. She's working down there.
Oh, really? She works where Shane's at there?
Where's she working?
She's down in the Grand Hall. She works for a local photo booth company. So.
Oh, I didn't know that. Holy crap!
Yeah. There's a Christmas party there tonight. So.
Is there really?
Time.
Yeah, I think it's Great Wolf Lodge.
Oh, okay.
Ohio? Or you have one up there? Obviously.
We have one up here. Yeah.
Because they're in Ohio. I'm just used to the one in Ohio, and everybody says Great Wolf Lodge.
We have a Great Wolf up here too. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have to dodge out so I can go pick her up, and
for sure
I'll catch up with you guys next week.
Always great to have you on, my friend. All right.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the invite.
Make sure y'all check out the Alkanuts.
All right. Adios, amigos.
Cheers.
Cheers, Ray. We'll hook up soon for that creme brulee review.
Absolutely. Sounds great to me.
All right. Cheers, buddy.
Speaking of which, for those of you watching, give me 1 second here. I'm going to see if this actually works to pay the bills for a little bit. It may or may not. I don't know. Nope, it didn't. They gave me a button here to try to do something. I wanted to see if it actually worked, where you could actually click the button and it'll pop up an ad. I'm like, I thought I heard something. But it didn't.
Oh, so you can actually force an ad on your live channel?
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to do, but it didn't do it. But I was just curious if it would anyway, so I had to try it at some point. So,
you might as well. I mean, if it's going to get you a couple cents, whatever.
Yeah.
What the hell, right?
But
every couple cents helps. That's for sure.
Well, any cents helps me.
Yeah, really, right. So, and that's what I tell people. I'm like, pretty much everybody knows where I work, but I can't afford to go and play where I work. I mean, not that I'm allowed to, but even if I was allowed to, I can't afford to go play where I work. For the love of God.
That's like, because you have to go to a different one, right? Because I know people down here in the States, they can't go to one they work at. They have to go to a separate location if they want to play. Yeah.
There's some place, like I know down in Vegas, or at least the last time I was down there, which was 12 years ago probably. I know some of the casinos, like if the employees can still play in the casino, like off shift kind of thing, but they're really strict. Like you have to be on your best behavior because you're still, even though you're a customer, you're still representing the company.
Right.
Because people will recognize you, like, oh, hey, this guy just dealt to me like an hour ago, and here he is playing, poker or blackjack or whatever the hell it happens to be.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, that makes sense for sure.
Yeah.
Mercy at PA, the knob head pour is the only way to pour.
Oh, see, I like them already. There we go. Knob head pour.
Next time, wave all your fingers at me. You just gave the ones. But that was for PA though. That was for PA.
That was true. That was for PA. That wasn't for you, Vanessa. I would never, ever do that to you. For the love of God, never.
The head will always settle. An Iceman pour will never frost. Well, there you go.
Yeah. So perfect. Yeah. Exactly.
I'm going to crack open another beer before I open this beer. I feel like I have to give it the proper opening.
Woo!
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, baby. So we got the Firestone Double DBA. That sounds like something from wrestling too.
It does for sure.
Imperial Special Bitter Ale aged in bourbon barrels, 12.3% ABV. So nice they give it to you in a box. So, funny story about this. Most places you end up picking this up, and it's usually about anywhere from like $12.99 to $14.99 or whatever. I ended up going to a spot in New Jersey when I was visiting last time. Walked into one of the stores. This thing was in there for like $6.99. $6.99. So I grabbed a couple. I'm going to crack this one open up so I can enjoy it. This is vintage number 4, batch 10,000. Firestone Walker. If you haven't had Firestone Walker, they do some pretty good beers from off the West Coast, West Side. And I have had some videos that I put up on some of their stuff. It's so great that I can actually get their beers now, because in Ohio, which is weird because it's closer to the West Coast, you can never really find their stuff. And then I come out here on the East Coast and you can find their stuff. Here is a look at the bottle itself as well. So let's go ahead and get this baby in. And I don't know if I've had I don't know if I've ever had an Imperial Special Bitter, like basically, because I've had ESBs before, but they have it at an Imperial level and barrel aged. That's like Joey Woe from back in the day. Whoa,
Right? Yeah, for sure. Now, did you say that was batch 10,000?
Yeah, batch 10,000.
Wow.
And I was trying to see on here if it had the number or anything else on it. No, just number 4 is the only thing it said on there. Imperial Special Bitter Ale aged in bourbon barrels. Doesn't say what bourbon or anything like that. But Firestone Walker is pretty solid. We'll slide the dragon milk off. We'll put that on. And here's a look from the pour. It's got a deep, dark, brownish, red brownish color, actually. Because when I back it up and get the light on, it's like a reddish brown. Head came out about a finger. Now it's about just under half a finger. Aroma-wise, getting the maltiness, getting like dark fruit action, raisin, kind of figgish, almost toward a barley wine, but I'm not getting like a black licorice feel that I sometimes get with the barley wine. But very aromatic. I mean, comes out very nice along those lines. If you can see you can see the carbonation right there. That bubble action. Bubbles like, let me in your belly. Oh, that is smooth. That is like velvety smooth. That's like Elvis on a velvet painting smooth. That's how smooth that is. That's,
Nice.
Oh, and it has like a smacking of a toffee caramel mix on the back end that just hits you in the back of the lips. This is really good.
That sounds really good for sure.
For $6.99 a bottle, that's some good shit. That's some good shit right there.
That's not bad.
And the flavor's just lingering. It's definitely got, you get sense that's probably got more alcohol in it, but you don't really get the booziness coming through. It's just so smooth in how it goes down. It's just like a layered feel on your tongue and in the upper part of your mouth, roof of the mouth, behind the lips, like I mentioned. Just all the flavors to the front. You get that dark fruit type feel in the mouth as well. Oh, this is really good. It's I almost want to say it's almost like, I'm trying to think of the right word, but almost like a hickory type sensation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is if you see this out there, I'm just usually, like I said, $12.99 a bottle. It's definitely a good buy. Is it $12.99 good? I mean, I got other ones at that from the other Firestone Walker stuff. So if you're getting Parabola and some of the other stuff, you're paying that anyway. This is right as far as being a nice one to check out. Almost has a little bit of a tilt towards a strong ale, but a lot smoother than a strong ale. Some strong ales can hit you with like kind of a roughness to them. This one doesn't hit you with that. This is just silky smooth. I mean, this is, if you put like a Marvin Gaye, let's get it on into a beer, this is kind of what you come up with in that, like that feel, just like, let's get it on. Like that's just singing all through this beer right now. And it's like, sit back, put your feet up, get into the lazy boy and just enjoy.
Nice. That sounds great. I like the sounds of that one.
Yeah, I have a review that I'll do on it upcoming on another bottle that I have. But oh man, this is one you want to sit down and you want to take your time with too. It also has a little bit of that candied feel in there. And I mentioned on some of the other reviews, it doesn't go full like toffee or butterscotch, because it makes me think kind of like the old Werther's candies, kind of along those lines. And for me, when I think of Werther's, you might be the same way, Shane, as well, because we're the same age basically. And I don't know up there if like your grandfather or grandparent, like they would give you like the Werther's type candy, like you'd have the candy dish there or whatever like that.
Yeah,
and
of course.
When I was a kid, they'd have the candy dish there, and that would kind of takes me back to those memories of enjoying that kind of thing. So it's kind of got like a little bit of that touch in there. This is very nice, well put together by Firestone Walker. But
that sounds great. I would definitely be into something like that for sure.
Yeah,
that sounds great.
Almost a little molassy, if that's a word, because I make up words on the show sometimes. So
that's all right.
Molasses. I'm saying molassy type touch to it. So.
It's all good. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with a beer like that. Like you get the stronger beer, just full of flavor. I did a review a week or two ago when Brian the Beer Snob came up here, and I had Brian and Ray and Paul from the Alkanauts, and we tried this Bourbon County Reserve Stout, which was fantastic.
Is that the one from? Which one was that one? That's from what year?
That's 2021.
2021. Okay.
Yeah, this one I actually got from Mallory and Chew when I was down there at the get together. This is like a special prize for something, and I saved it for a special occasion. And when Brian the Beer Snob comes into town all the way from Atlanta, and he comes all the way up to Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, I got Ray and Paul from the Alkanauts up here. I said, hey, Brian's in town. You guys need to come to my house tonight because we're going to be here. And it was just cool for the four of us to do it. And I wish I had more of these because this was a fantastic stout. It was 15.6%, I think.
Yeah.
Not that you could notice it, and it was just so flavorful.
Well, I'm sorry. We have some spots around the States where we can find those in surplus. But go ahead.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, Ray wasn't really fussy on this one. But the other, like me, Brian, and Paul, we loved it. Like it was so good. There was something with the like the prune raisin kind of or figgy kind of flavor that Ray's not really big on, which is great. And it was great to have all four of us have all of our different opinions because everybody has a different palate, right? Like like I don't like sours, and Brian does like sours, and you like, stouts, and maybe the next guy doesn't like stouts. But it was just really super cool to have 4 guys all together trying the same beer and giving their own little take on it, right?
No.
But that one you've got there sounds fantastic too.
I mean, Have you had Firestone Walker before?
I don't believe so. I don't think I've had
him up there. Okay, yeah. So it took me the longest time because I could never really get it when I was in Cincinnati and stuff, and then finally, I think before I moved, we started getting 805, which is like one of their lagers, I believe. And then that was a pretty decent one. And then I get out here, and it's like distribution is so screwed up and how you do it. It's like, wait a minute, I can get Firestone Walker out here now. I couldn't get that before. It's just like this weird how the channels actually run, right? So I'm able to get all different type of stuff from them. And then when I go to Jersey, I see their stuff. And I see like Bourbon County, like a couple of the Bourbon counties I've got, they were just sitting on the shelf in New Jersey because they have so many other beer stuff that like people weren't buying it. And they're like, I'm not going to buy that. That's like $13.99 a bottle, or this is $20. Like I get up there, like, this is good stuff. How do you not sell this stuff? There's
a reason. There's a reason it's $20 a bottle. Because it's good, right? And I think I think that happens to a lot of beer people, especially guys who are maybe just starting into craft beer or don't drink craft beer at all. They'll see this. I don't know how much this was. I've been told like $15 or $25. I honestly don't know how much this bottle was, but they'll see that and they're like, why would I pay $15 for a bottle of beer when I can get one for $1.50 or whatever the hell, whatever it is a regular drinking beer is. But there's a reason it costs that much more, dude. Just pick one up. Pick one up.
Well, for the one you got there, I can't remember what that one was, but I will say like this year I got the Angel's Envy and I got the Eagle Rare, and the Eagle Rare was in something like that. The Eagle Rare was like $44 per bottle.
Right.
Angel's Envy was 44, so that was probably a little higher because when they put like in that kind of packaging, those are usually more the higher ones. The other ones they'll have in the regular bottle, you just get. So good deal,
right? Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Cheers to Dave as well. Dave, make sure you check your Instagram. That's where I sent it to, by the way. So Dave,
what's going on? Cheers, sir.
I had to go back and see.
Yeah. So while you're doing that, I'm on the hunt right now. Last year my beer goal last year was to try Heady Topper. So I took a 9.5 hour drive from my house to Stowe, Vermont, went to the Alchemist Brewery and got myself a Heady Topper and a Focal Banger, and I tried a sour that they made. And everybody knows I'm not a sour person, but the sour that they made was fantastic, and the Heady Topper was off the charts. And the Focal Banger was actually, I hate to say this, I hope there's no really big Heady Topper fans. Focal Banger is like this much better than Heady Topper.
Okay.
But well worth the, like I said, 9.5 hour drive. I went down there with my buddy Matt. We camped out there for the weekend. But so that was last year's goal. This year's goal is to get my hands on a bottle of Utopias.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. Trying to get that.
That's this year's. Well, it's hard because we can't get it up here. Like they don't have it anywhere up here.
Okay.
So I've got to kind of plug around. Maybe I need to get a hold of Anderson, who co-hosts with Beer Day with TK, because he does a lot of traveling.
Okay.
And he managed to pick one up for him and TK, and I think he paid $400 for it.
Okay.
So I'm hoping I can find somebody that can get me one. I'll pay them for shipping. And
if I find some spots, I'll let you know. I've only seen it one time in my lifetime. I didn't end up buying it that time, but that was out in Ohio. But I've actually connected with some different spots down here. And I think that last unboxing was one of the other stores I connected with one of our places where I got the Bourbon County stuff and ended up meeting the beer manager and stuff. We kicked it off nicely. And so now it's like we're looking to work on some stuff together. But if he would be a kind of a spot where that might show, because he had a lot of unique stuff there. That's like, okay, I'll be back down here some more because you're getting some other stuff in I'm not seeing at the other spot. So that's why you got to keep a circuit. You got to keep a circuit of where you're going to go. But I do have, when I do beer news, I got some good news for you about Canada as well, if you don't know. When I do beer news. Oh,
perfect. Okay.
Yeah. Cheers, Dave, in the house. Beer in front. What is up, my friend?
Nothing. How's it going, gentlemen?
Good.
How are you, Dave? Cheers, buddy.
Good. Dave, what's going on, Shane?
I'm good, buddy.
Good.
How's the back going and everything?
I'm still holding off. I got a couple days after Christmas, so I need to get the epidural injection. So I'm just kind of holding off until then.
Oh, that does not sound pleasant, sir.
No, yeah, and they're like, you need to bring somebody with you because we're gonna have to like put you out for a little bit. So I'm like, all right, I got to get somebody to drive me. But I wish they would have told me a month ago when we knew we were going to get this. You should have told me to bring somebody with me. I could have had this done last week.
Right. I feel like the viewers are like, why is Rod running the old guy show tonight? Everybody's like getting banged up or hurt or sick or something.
Good thing for beer. We could kind of help with the pain.
That's why I keep Todd and Mal around. They're younger, they get the Mal's fighting the flu right now. So
all right.
But you just need to rename your live streams to Rod J's Geriatric Thursdays.
Yeah,
right.
get all the old guys on here that are sick and dying and
orthopedic,
but still enjoy beer. Yeah,
well,
exactly.
It's funny because I used to have some people ask me well, did I tell my age? Like, how are you not you don't even look that age? Like, you look younger. Like, because I work with a lot of millennials and Ys, so I try to keep up with them. And that keeps me younger.
Right? Yeah, for sure.
Can't be the old guy walking around the office, right? So, so what are you drinking tonight, Dave, my friend?
Someone brought this over yesterday, so I just figured I'd give it a try from Bell's. It's a golden ale called No Yeah. It's not bad. Pretty easy drinking. I think it's only 4.5%. But I'm like, all right, I'll crack this open and see what it's like. Yeah, it's pretty decent.
Nice.
Oh,
Bell's usually makes some pretty decent beers. I mean, I've only had a couple of them up here, but they're pretty decent. The ones I've tried.
Nice golden ale, not overly hoppy. Just a good, easy drinking, solid beer.
Nice. Well, now that I got you on from Chicago, representing the Chicagoland area, have you made your final run to Metropolitan yet?
Yeah, we went. I met. I don't know if I think you know him, Brian, or Brian from St. Louis, 3-1 Pour.
Yeah.
He drove up on what was it, Monday, to come up. So I met him there, and there was like a lot of people there, like who's who in the Chicago brewery scene was over there. So yeah, we made it out. The owner was handing out shots of Malort to everybody. But yeah, it was kind of sad. So I don't know if I'm going to make it because they close for good Sunday. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to make it like one more time. But yeah, I went this week to say goodbye.
Nice.
It was great. I went down. I was down in Chicago in July for the Beer Tubers get together, and one of the places we went to was Metropolitan, and I loved that place. The location was so awesome, like right on the water, like the way it is. And they had some really great lagers there, a lot of German style stuff. And then I heard it was closing down, and I'm like, really? Like I got to go to this place just the one time.
Yeah.
And then one of the ladies that I met down there, which was a friend of Mallory and Choose, who were hosting, she posted up some pictures just yesterday, the day before, I think, of what it looks like now. And it's like, I'm glad I got to go and visit it one time before it closed, because it was the location is just, it's a bomb. That location was a bomb. It was really awesome.
Yeah, I had to pick up a couple glasses to hold on to and grab a couple, couple last 12 packs to savor. So yeah, they had, when I was there, they were just finishing the keg. They had this barrel-aged Doppelbock that was just phenomenal. I mean, you think of barrel-aged like 12, 13, 14%. This was only like 7, but it was so flavorful. I mean, it was absolutely perfect.
Right.
Very nice.
Like I said, I like their beers there. They were all solid beers. I mean, I'm not a huge lager / Pilsner guy, but the ones that I did try, which is probably like 4 or 5 different ones, were all solid beers.
Oh yeah.
Again, the location was just, I loved it. The location was so awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, we're all kind of talking like what's going to go in here, but I don't know. Like we had a Ballast Point here close a couple years ago with the pandemic, huge spot. And that's still closed. So I don't know what's going to go in there, if they're just going to utilize that space for maybe like weddings or like to rent it out. Because I mean, it's wonderful, like you mentioned, it's a wonderful spot. But
absolutely,
hopefully another brewery could get in there because it's ideal location.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, it was just such. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. Go ahead, Shane. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the location there is it's so awesome. Like it's so scenic. Like you walk out those side doors and you're right there on the water. Watching the paddlers and stuff like that. It was so nice. It's just a great place to just sit and drink a nice quality beer.
Yeah. Now you didn't get out there when you were in town, did you, Ron?
No, I didn't get a chance to get over there. The only thing I got to hit was Hot Butcher when we got together that night. But yeah, I would have liked to. But I mean, obviously you don't know.
Yeah, who knew? Yeah,
there. Yeah, right. But so we said, one of the things we talked about it last week on the show, some of the different closings and things that were taking place across the board that we're seeing. It's funny. I saw another report today that showed like by 2030, it's like 1.25 billion estimated for the beer space here in America in the craft. So it's kind of like they see growth out there, but we're seeing more of a shrinkage of some of the breweries right now, or a consolidation. Like some of the breweries are getting together on stuff, but it's kind of an interesting type thing we're kind of moving through. But you knew at some point something was going to have to happen, because every community wanted a brewery, but every community couldn't support that brewery. So
so it's kind of like thinning out the herd a little bit now.
Yeah,
unfortunately for the ones that are closing.
Yeah. But some are being absorbed by others, which is great. Some are teaming up, so we're still keeping people employed in the industry, and there's still some good things happening. So I can tell people, if you like that community brewery, make sure you support them, make sure you're out there, because you never know when it could actually happen. And when I did the video, I know you did the video too, which I'll talk to you in a second here on the Ravinia thing. But one of the things I made note of is like the festival's got these deep pockets going after Ravinia that doesn't, and that's like a lot of craft breweries. Margins are thinner than people might assume they are.
Yeah,
so there's not much money in a lot of them. A lot of them doing it from the love from the thing there. They're hoping to get big maybe one day on a lot of them, but the thing is, you're not making a ton of money when you're out there kind of doing it. So, but it's good to see that you are going to be doing a follow-up. You mentioned that to me earlier when we were texting back. So you got a nice piece you're working with them on, hopefully, to kind of bring some more light to it. And
they reached out to me this afternoon on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. And, I'm, playing, tag back and forth, seeing if we can get together next week. And, they made it sound like, the festival's not playing ball. So they reached out to me like, hey, we'd like to talk next week. So hopefully we can get something set up, and I'll get that episode out right away.
Nice. So I don't know if you knew or not, because Mal works with Ravinia.
Okay.
So that's one thing. Like, she's seen some of the stuff and provided some details, but I did the video and stuff, and she's been trying to lean on them to try to get it. Because I told her, like, you got to get more of a groundswell taking place, because a lot of people might not be familiar with taking. If you get it out there and get that ground support behind you and things like that, you can kind of drive stuff. So she's been talking with the owners about it, so it's great. You're going to benefit, because I mentioned, like, Dave, he's right. He's a Chicago guy.
Yeah, I mean, they have two locations. They're one in the city.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even 10 minutes from the house. So, I'll just, drive over there, hopefully, if that's the one they want to do it at. I told them, like, what days I'm free next week, or I said, if not, we could always do like a Zoom type deal.
Yeah. So good luck with that for sure. I'm great to see you're covering. I want to see more exposure on it. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it just seems to me, in my opinion, just from the articles I've read on, local Chicago Tribune and other websites, it just seems like a ridiculous lawsuit, and they're just like, the festival just seems to be bullying. So I'd like to hear the brewery side of the story.
Yeah, it's funny, because one of the things I commented on the video I did was like, so if a music store decides they're doing a grand opening and they want to play music out there, or this festival coming after them too, because now it's any music being played at the music store. So it's a bunch of corporate BS, in my opinion.
Yeah,
so.
And like, the name of that community predates the festival, so I don't see where they have a leg to stand on. It'd be like, the Sierra Nevada mountains wanting to sue the brewery because they have the name Sierra Nevada. I just, I'm not a lawyer, but it just doesn't make any sense to me.
No, not at all. Absolutely.
But I did stay at a Holiday Inn last night. Adam said he pours 80% of the beer, hard pour, and then wait for it to settle, then carefully pour. You don't have to fear the beer, though, Adam. You can still just go.
Don't fear. Never fear the beer.
Yeah,
never fear the beer.
What were you guys pouring? Because I switched over from watching on YouTube to this, so there was like a lag of a minute where I missed what you were doing.
You missed my Ric Flair opening for it. I almost want to drink the other one because this is so damn tasty. This is from Firestone Walker, the double DBA. So this is their special batch that came out. So special, they brought it in a box. You had to get it in a box. Yeah. So 12.3 ABV, Imperial Special Bitter Aged in bourbon barrels.
Okay.
And this is as smooth as it can be.
Yeah, I heard you mention it was kind of like a Marvin Gaye, Barry White type thing going on in the glass.
Yeah.
It's smooth as hell.
Let's get it on in a glass for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might have this.
It sounded fantastic. It sounded fantastic for sure.
Yeah, you split this with your other half. You might end up with a baby coming in 9 months. I'm just saying.
I'm too old, Slim. Not coming here. I'm way too old.
But yeah, it's really a tasty one. So I have another one that I'll do a review on at some point here. But so yeah, we try something different here. The first one I had was the one you saw. I think the Dragon's Milk oat milk.
Okay.
So. Hard poured directly near your gullet. Well, that's what we used to call chugging or funneling, as you said. Or
I cannot do that.
Yeah,
I can't chug or funnel. I've never been able to, and I'm good with that. I'm not 20 anymore. Like I'm in my 50s. I don't need to chug or do funnels anymore. That's for sure.
I'm pretty sure at WVU, because we were number one party school in the nation, and I might have got a college credit for it because we partied so much down there.
Awesome.
Oh, would beer survive and ice lose? Well, it should. I think it could.
Yeah. Why wouldn't it? For sure. I'm going to be fine.
Guinness Foreign Extra Stout. That is Vanessa's favorite one. It's my favorite one from Guinness too, for the most part.
Oh no, I think she likes the Dragon's Milk, doesn't she? Isn't that
she likes Foreign Extra Stout and Dragon's Milk. Those are her two beers she keeps.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Although I will say when Guinness did their Dublin Porter, I think, and their Antwerpen Stout, those were both good too. And their Milk Stout was actually pretty decent. So they do specialty ones they do once in a while. Like right now at the brewery, you can get their Guinness IPA. Like everybody, Guinness has an IPA. Yeah, they do. But they don't put it on the mass market. You can get it at the brewery. Or you can get it locally.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Now, were you able to get like the holidays the last couple of years here? They had like a gingerbread stout, and I think they had one that was like a takeoff of the old fashioned drink. Were those available by you? Because the gingerbread was pretty decent.
Yeah, they're all actually done out of the Baltimore location.
Okay,
so I can get them all because Guinness. One thing I'll say about Guinness, they really do study their market and their metrics on where to put things. So like when they did the Foreign Extra Stout, for the longest time, you only had it in 3 areas around the world you can get it before they started experimenting with it because they went by the palate. So like in the Caribbean and in parts of Asia and then parts of Africa, there was a sweetness to the Guinness Foreign Extra Stout that was more looked upon than liked than it was like say in Ireland where they had the regular stout or the extra stout. Then they opened it up for other stuff. So like the American beers, they did that with like the Guinness Blonde, the Guinness IPA, the gingerbread, the old fashioned. There's certain ones they're only doing for the American market, trying to match it up to the palate. They might bleed up to Canada as well, Shane. You might see some of that stuff coming your way too. But
I haven't seen it yet. But yeah, like I said, I haven't seen it yet, but I definitely pick it up. Like anytime I see something new, especially like if it's like I remember when the first time I saw a Guinness Blonde, I was like, "Oh my god!" Okay, like again, I'm not a fan of Guinness really. I'll drink it, but I'm not going to go buy it, on purpose. But I saw the Guinness Blonde, and I'm like, "Oh, I got to try this," and it was decent. I didn't mind the Guinness Blonde at all. It was okay.
The funny thing about the Guinness Blonde, so that was done here in the Baltimore market, and then Guinness, they just sold off part of their stuff here, and they decided to not make the Guinness Blonde anymore. Supposedly, now you can get it on tap for whatever reason. They got it on tap there now, but they felt heat from it. So one of the local breweries here in Baltimore said, "Well, if you're not going to do it, we'll go ahead and make it." And they were like, "No, we don't want to sell it to you. We want to keep the recipe to it or whatever." Blah blah blah. But I guess they felt so much heat now that they're starting to put it on draft again because I just saw their weekly drafts and Guinness Blonde was on there after they had pretty much said they weren't going to make it anymore. So, but that was designed in Baltimore for the American market. Yeah.
Like you would know more than I would, Rod, but wasn't there like a local politician? I don't know if it was the mayor or somebody else in Baltimore that was like trying to petition them to keep the Blonde going.
Yeah, that was like the mayor here, and they were trying to do that. And then if they didn't keep it, to have another brewery go ahead and make it. I forgot what brewery was going to step in to do it. I want to say, I don't think it was Checker Spot or somebody, but they offered to go ahead and make it, and then Guinness was like, we don't really want to sell to that or whatever. So they decided to, maybe they're remaking it now. Maybe they felt the pressure of it because people do like the Guinness Blonde here. And,
okay.
They got the little Maryland flag on it and stuff like that. So, it's got the whole community type feel. It's like, wait a second.
Right. See, that's one of the things I dislike. Like when a brewery has, they come out with a solid beer. And again, I understand everybody's palate's different. What I like, you might not like. And when they have a beer and you absolutely love this beer, and then all of a sudden they discontinue it, and that drives me nuts more than anything. Not that the brewery hasn't closed or anything, but they take whatever the recipe is, and it's gone, and you can never have that again. And that drives me absolutely bonkers because there's Flying Monkeys, which you guys probably all know. It's a big brewery up here. They distribute all over the place. They used to do a beer called Smash Bomb Atomic, and it was a absolutely fantastic IPA. And I guess what had happened is their head brewmaster had moved to a different brewery, and because that was his recipe, Flying Monkey said, "You know what? We're not going to make this anymore because that is your recipe. We're not going to steal it. We're not going to continue on with it. That is your recipe. You move along." And it was a great beer, and I absolutely hated the fact that I cannot get that beer anymore because I used to drink that all the time. Yeah, it was such a great beer.
Yeah, they have some pretty good. Yeah, they end up losing that when somebody leaves on there. But if you ever do talk to Flying Monkeys, let them know. We try to keep it under 60 characters for YouTube. Let's work on those titles. They got some long titles on their shit.
Dude. Flying Monkeys, and another bad one is Great Lakes Brewery up here, which is different than the one you guys have in the States. Yeah, I think your Great Lakes Brewery is in Ohio.
Yeah,
ours is ours is just outside of Toronto in a little town called Etobicoke. Same thing. Like the writing on the side of the can is just like it covers like 3/4 of the can basically. Like here's the story, but it's entertaining at least. I mean, you got something to read while you're drinking a beer. It's an entertaining little story about either how they came up with it or some kind of little play on whatever the beer name was. So I enjoy that. I always enjoy that about Flying Monkeys at least.
Well, as long as it's your first beer, after a few beers, you're not going to read a bunch.
Yeah.
No, well, I mean, if you're going to do a couple beer reviews during the day, if you're going to do a couple beer reviews during the day, make sure Flying Monkeys is your first one that you do.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of reading to do. That's for sure.
I just remember having a cacao and peppermint imperial stout, and that was decent, 12%, but decent. The mint offset the sweetness. Nice. Yeah, it is yummy. This is very yummy, Vanessa. What vape machine is that, Shane? I'm thinking of making leather cases for some.
The one that I use is called I've never had anybody ask me that before. That's kind of weird. It's called a Geek Vape. This is their 2. I think they do a 1 battery model. This is their 2 battery model. I quit smoking cigarettes a couple of years ago. I've been using this. I was in the hopes of get off cigarettes, go to a vape and get off the vape. But I've been on this for a couple of years now, so I'm probably never gonna quit.
I'm seeing a potential deal here for Shane's leather vape thing. So that Shane's logo on
That'd
it.
be great.
Vanessa can work out a deal and sell it.
Vanessa, if you want to make me a leather vape cover for this, I will. Not only will I pay you for your time and the materials, I will pay for the shipping and absolutely everything else. And I've always told you, I'm a big fan of Vanessa. I don't know if anybody knows that. I'm a big fan of everything that Vanessa does.
We all are.
Her leather work, her cooking, and just all the stuff that she does. She's just such an amazing person. She's awesome.
You need some of this beer baster oil. You can make like vape juice out of hops. I mean, this is
there we go.
This is Amarillo, because I know, and I have a Mosaic one in the fridge from another company. But yeah, this is like pure hop oil.
Oh, there we go.
Shit! There we go. I can mix my own friggin' vape oil and be sitting there like, it's like I'm having a beer. That'd be great. That'd be fantastic. You kidding me?
Another buzz. That sounds like a good video idea for Dave on how you can make that into vape oil. That could be a great video right there.
There you go.
Some Breaking Bad shit here.
That'd be great. Yeah, you should totally do that because I mean that's your idea. So
I see 100K views in your future, Dave.
Right? Yeah, beer vape. I mean, what a great title. Just even something simple like beer vape oil.
Yeah.
Like guys would be all over that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic.
Vanessa mentioned a fruitcake. That's the other thing. So in this one, you can get like a fruitcake type feel. She mentioned the fruitcake, and I was trying to piece it together. That's something you can get in here too. You can get that with some of the barley wines as well. Fruitcake stout. I don't know if I've really had a fruitcake stout, but the barley wines are pretty close that you can find some of that stuff there, which is funny because if you ever give me a piece of fruitcake, I wouldn't eat it. But if my beer tastes like it, I will drink the shit out of it.
And it's funny that I honestly don't. I only know like maybe like 2 people that actually like fruitcake.
Yeah, I don't know any people that like the fruitcake and stuff. But it's funny when you do these beers, you're trying to think, what is that thing? Fruitcake. That's what it is in here. And it's like, you're fine. Like black licorice. I could never eat black licorice. I ate it as a kid for Halloween. Right. But I'll get black licorice in a beer, and I'm like, oh, there's a little black licorice in here. Like I'm all perked up about it, Like it doesn't bother me anymore.
It's funny when you throw a flavor in beer, everything's okay all of a sudden, right? It's so funny. So funny.
No, you were right. Yeah, they'll spend up 20 and up for a wine. So so some of the beer, I think some people still look at beers as kind of being like the lower level type thing versus wine, but there's so much in beers that are more upscale when you're looking at some of the beers.
Yeah.
Right. For sure.
Looking for Utopia, Woodstock New Year's Day had a bunch last year, so Vanessa might have it in on the Utopia.
If you can find, if you see one at like a local store and you have a couple of them there, Vanessa, please message me on Facebook or on my channel. Just comment on one of my random videos. I don't give a crap. Because I'll definitely take care of you for that for sure.
And we were talking about Bourbon County earlier. This is the man right here, Dave. Talk with him because he knows a spot where it's usually half off after a couple months there. So he might be able to hook you up with some Bourbon County.
Yeah, there's like a buddy of mine. And it's weird though, like the grocery store by me that has always carried it, they did not carry it at all this year. But one of my friend's stores that does have it, it seems like after like February, all the variants 50% to 70% off. They just
no kidding.
Yeah. Holy so crap. Like he's gone out. I'm like, I'll Venmo you the money. So as a rule, like I'll buy one bottle of the regular, but all the variants, I'm just going to hold off and see if I can get it for, $10 a bottle as opposed to 20.
Sure.
Yeah, it's not like it's going to go stale. Yeah, it's that's something you could age for a couple years anyway. So whether you buy it in November or buy it in February or March, it's not going to make a difference.
Right. I said I don't know if you were on at the time, Dave, but I got this 2021
nice.
The Bourbon County.
Yeah, I saw you hold it up.
Yeah, and I loved it. And obviously, I mean that's brewed in Chicago, obviously. Mm-hmm. And it's something that I can't get up here, and I'm really thankful to Mallory and you for gifting this to me. And I would definitely grab a couple more of these. So I mean, if you can hook me up, like I said, I'm more than willing to do a beer exchange with pretty much anybody. So absolutely, for stuff I can't get.
One of my spots here, Shane, if you want, I can check with them. But when I went out there, I got the Bourbon County for this year. They actually had a 30-year anniversary on from last year too. It was like 49 or whatever, but they blended between 3 different barrels.
Yeah.
So
like I said, I was really impressed with the Bourbon County, the Reserve Series. It was fantastic, and I luckily I got to share this with like 3 other people because that is 15.6%. That'll knock you on your ass if you down that 600 ml bottle that is there.
Yeah, we've all done that before. Yeah,
for the novice,
for sure.
For the novice, we're professionals, but for the novice spirit,
that's right.
Here,
that's right.
Well, let's do this. Let me jump. Well, I got you both here. Let's share a little beer news. I think I have stuff from both your areas on things. So
perfect.
Let me switch it over and buckle up, folks, because we're going to do a little beer news, and these are my stand-ins for Todd and Mal. That took a little time finding the damn button, so it wasn't like
that's all good.
So let's start off with Dave's neck of the woods, Ontario. Ontario.
Okay.
You're about to get some good news up there if you're not aware of it yet.
Okay.
I know you know about the LCBO.
Yes, sir.
But now they're announcing beer and wine sales will be going to convenience stores. Did you know about that?
Yes, I did. I did hear about that. And one of the things that we have up here in Canada, we have an outlet called the Beer Store, and that is where you basically go to get mostly macros, like your Canadian, your Bud Light, your Labatt's Blue, stuff like that. So yeah, with them going into the corner stores, like me personally, I go to the LCBO, the Liquor Control Board of Ontario, because their beer selection is actually better than the Beer Store. As weird as that sounds. But yeah, now with them having the beers in the corner stores, the Beer Store itself, I think within a couple of years, you're going to find that there's not going to be any more beer stores.
Yeah. It takes, like in the States, we have some states that used to have like a state store versus other states where you can buy independent. You started to see states start to do away with a lot of state stores because other states were having more benefit of having people have independently owned. So it'd probably going the same way up there with the federally ran or government stores. So
right.
I thought that was good news. So I tried to stump you on that one. But
it's like I said, it's great. Like we have a couple of grocery stores up here that carry beer now, which is like revolutionary up in Canada, because it was either you had to go to the Beer Store or the LCBO. That was it. That was your two choices for beer. And now we have, like I said, the grocery stores, and now we're going to have some corner stores. I know there's one chain up here, 7-Eleven, which you guys obviously know.
Oh yeah,
you have that down there. There's a couple LCBOs up here in Ontario now where you can actually buy a beer and drink it in the 7-Eleven, which to me is totally fucking trashy. That's trashy.
Well,
like you buy a beer,
we can't drink in any 7-Eleven. I know,
right? Like I mean, how trashy? I don't mean to be disrespectful or anything, but how trashy is that? You go into a 7-Eleven corner store and they have a little table set up there. You go and grab a whatever the hell your beer is. Let's say a Molson Canadian, and you sit inside the convenience store drinking a beer because you can't take it with you.
Just throw in a brown paper bag and sit outside like the rest of us.
Yeah, like it's so.
States, you gotta at least go a block away.
Yeah. Like I know Ray, who was on earlier, him and Paul actually did a review in the 7-Eleven because it was a brand new thing, and they got a beer from the 7-Eleven. They sat in the 7-Eleven drinking a beer, and they're like, "This is just so weird." Like drinking a beer
have a couple grocery
in a corner
stores
store
here that you could drink at.
Yeah,
there's a couple
in a grocery store
that they actually have like a little bar set up. And you could just sit at the bar at a grocery store. And I even think you could like walk around with it. Like they'll pour it in a cup, or I'm not sure if that's all of them, but yeah, you could like have a beer inside the grocery store as long as it's like the one that they sell you. You're not just like opening up a 6-pack of something.
That's like if
that
you
is.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that is, to me, that is so weird. Like I can't, like me personally, I couldn't see myself going into a 7-Eleven, grabbing a beer and sitting and drinking it inside the 7-Eleven or a grocery store. Like, hey, I'm gonna do my family's grocery shopping for the day. Hey, you know what? I feel like having a beer, so I'm just gonna grab a beer and just sit here. And to me, that is just so it's such an alien thing to me.
Well, the 7-Eleven is a little different because it's so bright in there. It's like you're supposed to get in and get out, so that's why they have the bright lights.
Yeah,
right.
In the grocery stores, it's a little bit more. Not as bright, a little bit more kind of relaxed. So to Dave's thing, like if you ever watched the Jungle Gyms video on my channel, which people have watched that and they're like, I cannot believe there's a store like that out there. Literally, you have like the huge, it's like a candy store for kids for the most part, like the beer section, but you actually have a bar section in it where they have like 20-something taps and they have stools and tables. Some people don't even go there to shop. They just go there to drink whatever's on tap there at the store. And this is like an international market. So you have the beers, you have like seafoods, they have a hot sauce section that's bigger than a lot of people's offices. Like just hot sauces. I mean, this place is like huge. And it's just like an event. When you go there, it's like, I'm going to Jungle Gyms. All right, see you in a few hours. Because you know you're going to be there a while. You just know. But like Kroger, which is a national chain of grocery stores here in the States, in Ohio, they put taps in the grocery stores. So literally, you'd have like grocery stores. You'd have like, I would say, not to generalize, but you basically would have a lot of the men sitting around drinking the beer while their wives are shopping or whatever.
Like, see, the one by me, which is called Mariano's, but they're owned by Kroger, like at the bar itself, I would say it's 50-50 as far as gender goes, but there's just people sitting there drinking wine, drinking beer. I don't know if they serve like mixed drinks or hard liquor, but you could have like a wine or a beer and people just sit there, or like they'll go to like a little hot market and get like their lunch and sit there and eat at the bar while they have a beer.
Right. And that's how it is with the Kroger type things. And it's like, some people aren't even at a grocery shop. They just like, they work nearby or whatever. They're getting off. It's like, instead of going to the bar and tripping over people there or whatever, they get them Kroger where you're not going to probably have that and just enjoy some good beer or something. So
yeah. So I know it's like the one by me, like they'd have like a pizza oven and all of that. And I would get like a pizza to take home, and they'll be like, well, it's going to be like 15-20 minutes. You could shop or just go have a beer. So I would go have a beer, and then when I was done, I'd go pick up my pizza and go home.
Right. Some people just get the pizza and they come over to where the beer is and they just sit there and enjoy it. Yeah. So, we have some of that happening around different areas, which they don't have it here in Baltimore as of yet. They're actually fighting right now where they're trying to allow the breweries to do some. There's some of the laws they have, and I'm going to talk about New Jersey here in a second, but just some of the things you can't do at some of the spots don't even make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, New Jersey seems like a hot mess.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk about their thing in a second, but see if I can stump you, because the next story is about Chicago.
All right, bring it on.
Chi-Town, as the kids call it. THC infused drinks are now being sold in Chicago liquor stores, now being compared to the craft beer wave that swept across the world a decade ago. They're seeing this as basically a new frontier. Have you seen any of these pop out yet? Are you aware that they're now bringing these to Chicago?
I've heard that they were coming in, and I haven't seen it yet, but I haven't gone to, like, the big liquor store here is called Binny's. So I haven't been to Binny's in probably 2 to 3 weeks. They had the CBD ones there before, but those won't get you high. But so no, I have not. I've heard it, but I have not seen it yet. But I'll have to check out Binny's and see, check one out for myself.
Yeah, definitely. So take a look around. You'll start seeing stuff, and you and like Mal and Big Daddy Mojo's not here yet tonight, but he's in Chicago. But you guys are having the market where now it's being introduced. And if you've never had a THC beer, I will tell you, one, it is still tasty, but two, it's definitely more of an experience. It's more of a chill type experience. I mean, is the buzz different? It's different in that when I had a couple THC beers, it was more of a relaxed type feel. It wasn't like you were in an amp type feel, but you were still feeling nice and relaxed and stuff. So I like the experience. So a lot of people like the THC beers because you're not getting that alcohol high, so you're not going to crash the next day as much as the THC, just like if you're doing like an edible or something like that and everything. So it's more a little more chill type thing. So
now with those, I mean, I'm assuming it's not going to be like something you're going to like pound down 3 or 4 in a night. It's pretty much a one and done type deal.
Yeah, I mean, you could do like 1 or 2. I mean, it's all tolerance, right? So when I did it, like, I wouldn't do probably more than 2, but it's kind of like, it is THC, so it does have a little bit of that delay that still takes place with it. So don't think you go in there and just knock out a 6-pack. Like, I'm not feeling anything, because just like an edible, whatever, it will catch up to you. So, you do it, you enjoy it, take your time with it. You don't have to rush through it and everything like that. And I just think you chill. It was just chill. It was a different feel. I don't usually have a point now where I drink and I have a hangover next morning anyway, but it was kind of like a nice little get up in the next day, you're fine, you're refreshed or whatever. But during that nighttime, it's kind of like, you're more just chill mode. You're not trying to, you're not getting all hyped up and amped like a lot of people do with alcohol. Like if you're at a beer fest, people are running all around, like you don't really get that type of thing. You're more like just chill, just grab some tacos, let's kick back, let's chill, get some pizza or whatever it be, and
that might even help me sleep with my back.
That's what I was thinking. So for the back, it's definitely going to help out there too. So definitely something. But speaking of that same kind of line, hemp beers were now being seen as the next big thing as well. So it's kind of interesting when I saw that this week. just because it brought me back to thinking of the Hemperor with New Belgium from years ago. That was one of the ones I reviewed, which was kind of interesting because you definitely had that big thing of hemp. And then I think it was out of Georgia, Sweetwater had a hemp type thing for a while.
Yeah.
And the company, but it kind of died down a little bit. But now they're seeing a ramping back up of some of the hemp beers taking place. So you may start seeing more of those pop up at some spots. Which the hemp beers didn't really bother me as much. I definitely say I think some people were thrown off by the funkiness you get of it, because you literally open up some of those and it's just like, whoa, is there like a joint in the beer? Like you just that whiff would hit you. I remember the beer fest we were at. We had one of the Sweetwater 420 beers. And Todd's wife Shannon was just like, she was just put off by the thing. You know, me and Todd told her, no, this is great, but that was too much for her. But you might start seeing some more hemp type stuff popping up. I mentioned New Jersey, and I almost want to say, because you're here like Murphy being a jag-off, but I feel like I got you. But the jag-off is your trademark thing.
No, you can go ahead and do it. I'm going to grab another one. I'll be right back.
Okay. So for those of you in New Jersey, I don't know if you're still here, Bart, or not, but the governor of New Jersey, which to me makes no damn sense whatsoever, he vetoed the law, basically now limiting food service again back from New Jersey breweries. It's just like common sense to me. If you're drinking beer, you should be able to eat because that absorbs the alcohol. But in New Jersey, the elevator's not going all the way up to the top floor, so to speak. So they don't want breweries to be able to offer food and provide things like that because of the restaurant lobby is saying, well, that's going to hurt our business. Like it's not going to hurt your business to be able to have all these other states are actually doing this. We know it works. And at the same point, you want people to come in there, pound a few beers, not get anything in their stomach, and then get back on the highway. That makes no sense either. So
exactly,
it's politics at work, but I'm just like, I give shit when the right does shit that's not right. I give shit when the left doesn't do shit right, and this doesn't look right to me either. Like on the left, it's just like, what is the thing that you're actually trying to stop here? So it's just
right, and that's one of the funny things. Like when I was down in Chicago last year, this summer, and also in Atlanta the year before. I thought it was really weird that a lot of the breweries didn't serve food, because up here in Canada, like every brewery has to serve food. It's like a law.
Yeah.
So we went to I think one of the first places we went to was Firemaker down in Atlanta, and you couldn't get food, but if you wanted to buy a bag of Naughty Pretzels, which are fantastic by the way, if you've never tried them, you could buy that. And I'm like, really? This is the only food? And then when we were in Chicago, actually no, when we were in Atlanta, Mallory and I, because we both had a craving for sushi, so we stopped at a sushi place, and then we went to this brewery in Atlanta, and I'm like, are we allowed to bring this food in? Because up here in Canada, because up here in Canada, you're not allowed to. Like that's not going to happen. It doesn't fly up here. And then the same thing when we were in Chicago, we went to this one brewery. God, I can't remember what the hell it was. But we ordered in some.
Well, you guys went to Hot Butcher. I know you order food there.
Yeah, we had Hot Butcher, but it was a different brewery we went to, and it wasn't Dovetail.
Was
it wasn't delivered to Dovetail before?
Yeah, it wasn't Metropolitan. I'm sure I've got a coaster of theirs somewhere here. Anyway, it's irrelevant. But it was just so weird, to me that we went to this brewery. And Mallory had ordered a couple of the authentic Chicago deep dish pizzas from Giovanni's.
Oh,
is that the right?
Giordano's.
Yeah,
Giordano's. Yeah. That was it. And I'm like, this is so weird. Like, because to me, like, you couldn't do that in Canada because all of our breweries have food, and that's what you have to have, and you can't have outside food. So it was really weird for me personally. Like, it was so alien because. Like, what do you mean you don't serve food? Like every brewery in Canada does. So like, oh no, we just have, grab some Naughty Pretzels off the wall there and we'll get you 4 or 5, which are great. Don't get me wrong. I totally enjoyed the Naughty Pretzels, and I grabbed several bags and several different flavors when I came back home.
Yeah,
really good. But yeah, just so weird to me because a lot of the breweries up here, their food menus are they tend to change day to day because they only serve like, hey, we got some avocados fresh today, so we're gonna make like an avocado salad or something. So you never know when you go into a brewery, you're not going to get the same menu if you go back a couple of days later, right?
Right. And see, here in the States, it depends on what state you're in. Like, so New Jersey has this archaic thing where they're doing, but like when I was out in Kentucky and Cincinnati and Ohio, like we have breweries in Ohio where you can have restaurants in there, so you can order food in. Like, one of those things I saw, like Mad Tree, which was one of our breweries in Cincinnati, they actually had a pizza place in it that's leaving that to go to another brewery, but they're putting another restaurant in. But here in Baltimore, like when I went to Heavy Seas, which I'm going to have a Heavy Seas beer here in a second, I had to order in Wawa when I was there. I ordered in food to come in because they had no food to actually serve. It was how these states set stuff up. And to me, there's two things with it. One, having food in it in a brewery brings more, I don't say like health code, but it is health code, but it's more regulation if you serve food and beer. Which is funny because a lot of breweries are more cleaner than a lot of hospitals. That's a whole nother story for another topic.
Oh yeah,
because you can't have anything really disinfectant. You can't have anything infecting the beer and stuff being made. So they're very disinfectant friendly. But it's kind of like some places will get a food truck, so that it'll be outside the premises. But some states like New Jersey, you can't even have a food truck. You only do it a certain amount of time during the course of the year, and it's just like. I go back and I look at this thing like with Phil Murphy, who's their governor. Maybe the beer is getting to me a little bit. When we were doing the COVID shots, right? He was trying to get people to do a COVID shot. He's like, oh, do a COVID shot and you get a free beer from this brewery. So you were friendly to breweries back then when you're trying to get everybody to get the shots. And then after that, you're like, oh, screw the breweries now. It's like, how do you not have the people get the food to – anybody would tell you, anybody in the medical profession, I'm sure would tell you that if you're drinking, having food is going to be helpful to absorb the alcohol.
Sure. And that's actually quite a brilliant idea. Get a COVID shot and get a free beer. That's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's never going to fly up here in Canada, but it's still a brilliant idea regardless.
Yeah. I mean, because it was a matter of trying to get people motivated for it, but it's just like, the beer industry, I mean, depending on what state you're in, the road is an uphill road for a lot of places. So,
for sure.
So interesting thing. Researchers say they discovered the first evidence of social beer consumption in the ancient Middle East after finding remains of cereal grains used to produce alcohol in a 7,000-year-old town. So that would take us back to the 5,000 BC, which when I saw this story, I don't know where this happened. But how did it go from BC to just BCE now? I'm like, what the hell is this BCE? And they're like, for the what is it? The not the Christian, the non-Christian type. Begins with an S. I'm trying to think of the word. Secular. Like secular people, like I'm secular. I'm not like the whole religious thing. I never said BCE. I still say BC or AD. So it's like now we got what the hell has happened to our world? We got to keep coming up with these different acronyms for stuff.
Oh, dear.
So I guess like before Christ era or something. What was just wrong before Christ? Just like
everybody knew what it was. Yeah.
Neil deGrasse Tyson isn't upset by it, so why should anybody else be? That's like the smartest dude in the world right now.
Right. Exactly.
It's like but that's kind of cool. They found the remains there, and I think that was over in Israel, I think, where they found like the thing there, but they found like old pots and stuff that had the grains and stuff in it. So just pretty cool. Just again, one of those historical type things that'd be kind of an interesting type find.
Yeah, it's just a cool little thing too, right? Like 7,000 years old.
It had to be wild yeast, whatever was in the air. So there had to be no consistency. It was just whatever wild yeast and bacteria was in the air to ferment this stuff.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because I mean, back then when they were doing the original stuff, I guess it was more towards like the Groot type things, and they didn't have the hops and all that kind of stuff. But at the same point, just like we're three guys here talking about it, there were three guys back in this Israel little get together, drinking whatever they had and doing the same thing.
For sure,
kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
And then some points you wonder, like, can you go too far in making beer? Is there just too far you can go? Well, one brewery, the skeptical brewers didn't think it would work. Apparently it does. So Crux Formation and I say Rogie is actually supposed to be Rogue Creamery. That was a typo. They created a beer with blue cheese being fermented in it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pass on that.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of blue cheese either. Like honestly, but you know what? There's a lot of people that like the blue cheese. They like that stinky.
I love blue cheese, but I wouldn't have it in my beer.
But have you tried it though? Have you tried it?
I'm lactose intolerant, so I'm gonna pass on that one. Yeah.
Well, they have pills for that.
Yeah, no, that's
you pop a couple of those lactose pills, and don't get me wrong, I understand stomach problems. Believe me, pop a couple of those lactose pills and maybe just try a little bit of it. You might like it.
Playing Russian roulette with my ass. I'm not gonna do it. No, I'm gonna. Yeah.
I understand you 100%. Honest to God, I honestly do.
I mean, if you got the blue cheese, the wings are next, I guess. So,
and going back to that, Rod, like like when you go into a brewery, like you want to eat, like whether it be like some wings or some nachos or just something to snack on while you're having a beer, and it's just it's so weird that a lot of these places don't do anything basically.
Well, they just can't. Cause like, I think with New Jersey, they can't have food. They might be able to have like special events like 4 or 5 times. I can't remember what the rule was, but they're limited. They can't have like an event there, but only like maybe 6 times a year. Like they can't have like, oh, we're going to have Rock of Ages here tonight. We're going to have bands playing. They can only do that a certain amount of times, and then they're limited. So it's a real big hole. Now keep in mind, I grew up in New Jersey. New Jersey is a big, and Dave probably knows from Illinois, same way, like a big union state. And the lobby hole from the restaurant and bar association is so huge up there. I think that's causing part of the issues there too, from what they're putting pressure on the state government. But it's like there's states where it shows it does work to be able to have people be able to do this. No one's going to lose a business off of it. Yeah, it's kind of like people are going to go here, they're going to get food, so they're not going to your restaurant. But it's like those people are going to come to your restaurant another time. People don't go to your restaurant every night anyway. So it's kind of like, and then there's safety, like I said, the safety type issue. So it's just kind of crazy. But you talk about one of the cool things to do to get a free beer. I don't think we have Sam. I don't think we have Sam in the comments. I don't think Sam is here yet. So over in Australia, Kiwi Brewery creates first vending machine that lets users pay for their beer by slaying the guitar. Literally, they have a guitar set up, and it follows your fingerprint stuff on the guitar. And if you can nail the song, the computer will rate you out on stuff. And you hit a certain score, you get a free beer.
Oh, dude, I'm all over that.
So
I am all over that.
That is one of the coolest, like next level from Guitar Hero that every brewery is just looking to implement.
Right? That is awesome. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
So yeah, next time I get,
you probably only got to win it once, because after the third or fourth time, you're just going to be floppy.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right.
But that's kind of a cool idea. You go in there, if you could do the guitar and master it enough, then you get like a free beer, which I think that's kind of a fun way to kind of do it. And because if you're there and you're enjoying stuff, you're there laughing and watching people that can't play guitar either trying to do it too. So it has a whole entertainment value along with it. So great idea on their part.
And like I said, as much as I love like the Guitar Hero series, I've always been a big advocate, because you see these like young kids on, I mean, not anymore, but back in the day when Guitar Hero was like a big thing, and it was a super cool game. Don't get me wrong. But the amount of time that these kids put into learning how to do like the expert hyper speed level on Guitar Hero, it's like, dude, why didn't you just take that time and actually learn how to play guitar? Because you'd probably be just as good, but actually playing an instrument.
Yeah, I think it was just a fun component of it all for them. Oh, I just cracked this one open, by the way. So this is from here, Heavy Seas Bourbon Barrel Aged Chocolate Volcano.
Oh, dear Lord.
So this is a chocolate dessert stout, 10.5. And I'll have a video upcoming on that one there too. But I did the regular base version. That's on the channel now if people want to see it. But the Vanessa's thing, Texas Hughes drive-through liquor stores, drive up, order, and get your truck. But in Kentucky, we had drive-up liquor stores too, which is always kind of interesting when the first time you see them. But you just drive in, you tell the guy what you want, and they load up your vehicle or whatever, and you're out the door. Don't have to get out. Just like driving into a barn and you're out.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that would probably be better. I mean, like now with craft beer, I want to go into the liquor store and see what they have. I just don't want to like get the same old thing at the drive-thru. I want to walk in. Hey, what's new? Right. What's this brewery have that's new out? I'll try this one.
Exactly, and that's more for, I think, maybe the macro drinkers or the guys that are just into craft beer, just getting into craft beer, and they're like, "Hey, I want this one because I tried it last time and it was good."
Yeah,
but it's not a necessary. And again, to me, that's a pretty alien thing. Like a drive-through
in Texas, you're just gonna get your Shiner Bock and throw it in the back of the pickup and go.
Right? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
But for us, like, I got to go in because I got to check the date. So I can't have anybody just throwing stuff in there. It's like it's like my wife. I usually go to the grocery store when we go to get food and stuff, and she's like, "Why don't you just order and deliver?" Because she'll do a deliver and stuff. Like, I've seen those people going through produce and stuff. I can't trust them. They just throw anything in there. Like they're getting all. People get home, they got bad shit. Well, you can't complain because you didn't go. You had somebody else do it. So I'm like,
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
They're going through. They're not even paying. They're just like on their phones, whatever. Oh, here it is.
I want my own produce and I want my own meat. I'm not going to trust somebody else to pick out like my steaks.
Yeah. Some little 15-year-old puke who doesn't really care about. Oh, it's a steak. Who cares, right? Yeah. They don't care. They don't care for sure.
A beer big gulp. If they sell it at 7-Eleven, beer big gulp. Ray and Paul were having
beer big. Oh, dude, hook me up. That may be the only.
Well, that's what Ray and Paul were doing at 7-Eleven, right? They had a big.
They did they did the whole video at 7-Eleven. It was so weird because it was like I said, it was brand new at the time when they went, and I'd heard about it, and I'm like, there's no freaking way I'm gonna go drink a beer at 7-Eleven. Like there's no way. I'm not gonna do it.
Cheers, Trez. Welcome as always, my friend. Always great to have you, Trez, out there.
Cheers, for sure.
Ventures Brigade members. Let's see here. And so, So in Lancaster, PA, I don't know if PA Brewing is still around, but they're actually getting a new modern beer pub with a German influence, which is nice. I will say, like, one of the breweries we have here is Guilford Brewery. Guilford Brewery. And they're more of a European brewery. So they do like lagers and they do a lot of stuff that you would have there. Like they have an IPA, but it's an English IPA. Kind of like low, right? So it's kind of nice. Like you go in there, like, no, there's no hazies here. There's none of this stuff. There's no dessert stout. Like this is like you get a nice little feel of being able to go back and step into tradition of the beer, and you have that with like your lamb burger or your fish and chips, whatever you may be. So it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice when you have these kind of influential places come. And I say experience them if you can because it's nice, to be able to enjoy that kind of stuff. Let's see here. I give a shout out to the Lovenbond Project, where they're actually working now to provide minorities with internship in your craft beer industry. So that's huge because, again, we get more people in from different groups, different backgrounds. That's going to only increase the presence of craft beer, make it even that much stronger. And we've seen this with the Fresh Fest out of Pittsburgh, how much that's kind of hit and impacted things now. We're seeing more things take place. So congrats to them, and then congrats to Proximity Brewing, which is Durham, North Carolina's first Black-owned brewery, which is officially now open for business. So wishing them much success down there as well, and hopefully things pick up and go well. Up in Ohio, Chris that runs a Black Frog Brewing. I never got a chance to get up there, but I know he makes some great beers there too. So, Dave, you ever see Black Frog come over to Illinois? Make sure you check that out.
All right, absolutely.
I wanted to get his sweet potato beer because everybody talks about how good the sweet potato beer is. So I never got a chance to taste that. Not usually huge for the pumpkin type things, but when it's fall, it's fall. When Rome, you do what the Romans do, right?
Actually, that's what I'm having now, a pumpkin.
Are you really? What do you have there?
A friend of mine, Brian from St. Louis, gave me a couple from Second Shift. This is called When Pumpkins Fly. This is a spiced pumpkin pie golden ale. And I'm not a big pumpkin beer fan, but this has all of like the spices that you would get with the pie. So this isn't bad. So this is, pretty tasty beer. And everything I've had from Second Shift is always fantastic. This is only 6.5%, so this is easy drinking.
Nice.
Nice. That sounds great. I'm a big pumpkin beer lover myself. This time of year they're getting kind of scarce because they pretty much run out.
Yeah, all the Christmas beers are out now.
It's funny because you say that, but here where I'm at, so this is what usually ends up happening that I saw last year. It'll probably happen now. I haven't been to the beer store yet. They'll start usually putting like a 50% off now at this point because they're trying to move other stuff out. Because here it's like the pumpkin beer is like musical chairs. So you try to get out there in front and not be the one last standing. And then they start discounting to get stuff out of there. So the funny thing is we'll find like pumpkin imperial stouts or other pumpkin stuff where you don't have to drink them right now. So then it's like, I get it for 50% off. What the hell? That's a good deal. So I can still wait a few months for to drink this thing too and still enjoy it. As I get into the winter months in January or February or whatever. So we'll start seeing that.
You guys are so lucky down the States. You get like that. Oh, hey, these are just about expired or are expired. 50% off. You don't get that in Canada. Like if it's expired, it's still full price. Like it's just suck it up, sweetheart. I'm sorry you didn't check the date on the can before you bought it.
Blowing the dust off the top of the can,
yeah, pretty much. And I always get pissed off about stuff like that because everybody knows the beer prices in Canada are just, they're pretty silly compared to the American prices.
Well, it's like the one I had for Firestone Walker, right? 12.3% ABV. Why would you put this out there for $6.99, cutting it in half when you don't have to? It's not going to go bad at 12.3. Like this is something you can like. That's just bad, like ownership and knowing what you actually have there. Which I'm not there to correct you, so I'm going to take them off your hands for you. I'm okay with the price.
Absolutely.
If the grocery store manager doesn't know better, hey, that's on you.
That's on you. Yeah. If I go to the grocery store and you put in the build your own 6-pack, a bunch of the hop slams, and instead of $18.99, I can get them for $9.99. That's on you. That's not my fault.
For sure.
Which we still
like I
around. Yeah.
Like I said, I watch a lot of reviews, like Rod and Brian and guys like that, and they're like, "Oh, I pick up this 6-pack for $9.99." I'm like, $9.99? Like, are you kidding me? Like, I cannot get a 6-pack for $9.99. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm paying like $18 for a 6-pack up here. And that's on a good day kind of thing. It's like, holy crap. Even with the the Canadian to US conversion, like you guys are just
you guys are taking it. Yeah, you're getting bent over with your beer prices.
Oh, absolutely. Like we're getting bent over pretty hard actually. For sure.
I'm not staying at Bill Cosby's house again, I tell you that. But speaking of beers out, if you're not aware of it, this week Lagunitas released the Willowtide Stouts out in the marketplace.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, so if you're looking for that, now's the time to look because they will fly off the shelves.
That's always a good one for the price. And another one that kind of flies under the radar and it's got a good price point, Brooklyn, they put out one with 4 roses that it's not as heavy as some of the other ones, but it's a really good beer. And I think it's like $15 a 6-pack, or maybe it's a 4-pack, but it's well worth it. That one's really good too.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's a 6. I think here it might have been $12.99 a 6 or $13.99. Okay. It was like a crazy low price for what it should be for that, but it's like I'm all for it,
Yeah, but
I can barely get a 4-pack for $15. Okay, Jesus.
Oh. Let me see here. Another thing I saw that was kind of interesting. So Diego, if you've been following them recently, of course, they're the big purchaser of a lot of different breweries. They've been like releasing some of their breweries back, but now they're actually going to be building a new brewery out in Ireland. So I guess they're not fully getting out of the beer game, but they're maybe cutting some stuff here or there. But over in Iowa, they're going to be launching a new brewery. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what they're actually doing there. But Diego is one of those groups that they got a lot of their hands into a lot of stuff taking place in the beer world. For Vanessa, Connecticut, Black Pond Brews releases their Connecticut Uncommon in collaboration with the Anchor San Francisco Co-op. So for those of you not familiar, which first Christmas in however many years you were drinking Anchor, you don't have an Anchor Christmas ale, right? So because they were making them for like 49, 50 years, whatever the number was. But the co-op is trying to take over and bring them back. They teamed up with the Connecticut Black Pond to do a Connecticut Uncommon, which is going to be available here. And hopefully they do relaunch it. And next year, maybe we'll have Anchor Christmas beer back again. I know a lot of people like to look forward to that.
I had at this bar in Chicago the other night, Monday night, they had Magnums when they used to put the Anchor on big Magnums.
Yeah.
And they had like 7 or 8 different years. So we had, I think it was the 2016 just the other night, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah. It was nice to be able to get those beers.
Yeah, this was 2017 we had.
And it still held up that long. That's awesome.
Held up. I mean, the carbonation was perfect. It just was phenomenal. Because she was like, oh, yeah, we've got all those down below. We're like, oh, really? Can you grab one of those, please?
Yeah. Let's crack that baby open.
Yeah.
Last week, and Dave, we'll talk about here in a second. I had Joe on from Go Brewing, and I think you're going to be working with getting Joe on to do some stuff too. I know you had Joe before. Are you doing something else with him?
Yeah, I'm going to go. I'm going to talk to him on Monday.
Okay.
And I'm going to put that out like the first of the year for Dry January. And like, it'd be kind of like a different interview than the ones like that we had with them. Just want to talk about like the different beers they have, what kind of tips he might have for Dry January, and talk more about the tap room that they have.
Yeah. So great stuff. If you haven't seen, for those of you watching the interview I did with Joe from Go Brewing, fantastic thing. And talking about the opportunities in non-alcoholic brewing. And the reason I mention that is because we're seeing more and more breweries kind of head into that area now. And it seems like they're going to be kind of one of the ones out there kind of in the forefront. But now one of the things I saw, like Alaskan Airlines, they're partnering with Best Day Brewing to have non-alcoholic in-flight brews. Like I've never seen non-alcoholic beer really on a plane, like to kind of think about it. Now you can get like a, tomato juice or orange juice, but they're going to actually start serving non-alcoholic for the Alaskan Airline. One brewery you probably would never thought be going non-alcoholic, AleSmith. They're going non-alcoholic with the lineup with the new Speedway. They're doing a non-alcoholic Speedway. Another one you may have not think of going non-alcoholic, Sierra Nevada. They're going to their first ever non-alcoholic brew. So there's a lot of things being released, not just with these two major companies, but other ones that are kind of getting onto that. So it'll be interesting going into next year. There's definitely a trend out there where non-alcoholic is a play for a lot of people, and it makes sense, so keep an eye out for that. If you're thinking of maybe trying those out, I can tell you the ones I had from Go Brewing, I enjoyed. I know, Dave, you really enjoyed the sour you said that you had. I got a few more. I'll have the reviews of them upcoming soon. This week, speaking of reviews, I didn't release any reviews this week because I had a computer issue. I posted on the community tab. I basically had to reset my whole PC, which actually was a good thing or a bad thing. So I got a lot of the old shit off of the computer, but then I had to go back and install all the shit that I wanted to get on the computer, right? So that's the pain in the butt part. But now I'm going to be coming back next week with a lineup. Maybe this weekend I'll start it, but it'll be Brauerei St. Bernardus. I'm bringing out the beer lineups I've done from their beers, which will probably at the end have me doing their Christmas ale, because I do have a big bottle of Christmas ale that I want to do. So I'm going to be releasing those through the next week and some other good things there. So make sure to stay tuned for that. But the non-alcoholic brews are definitely making a play, and I'll have the Go Brewing non-alcoholic brews coming up. I might do those for Dry January when I release those. Actually, now you mentioned that, Dave, I might have that first week of January talking about those. But I will have upcoming this weekend I'm working on for those of you watching, because a lot of people seem to tune in and like the 10 beer styles for Thanksgiving. I'll be doing this weekend, and to get it up as soon as I can, the 10 beer styles for Christmas. So I'll have that upcoming as well, and I'll actually provide some beers you might want to try for those different styles too. So stay tuned for that. So,
guys, I'm going to tap out because I need to get a heating pad on this thing right now.
Oh yeah, with your back and everything. Yeah, definitely. But, it's great having you on.
Yeah, thanks, Shane, Rod J. Always nice to talk to you.
Great to meet you, Dave. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We'll talk.
Make
to
sure
you guys
check out Dave on Beer Front, everybody. So yeah.
All right, guys. You have a good rest of your night.
You too, man.
All right, cheers, Dave. Take care, buddy.
All right, bye.
Let's see here. So Bud Light, because we haven't talked about Bud Light in a while. The whole Bud Light fiasco.
Well, yeah, that's still around though.
Yeah. Can you look in your heart to forgive? That's the question, right? Because apparently apparently Kid Rock told Tucker Carlson his Bud Light boycott is over. He's back to enjoying Bud Light. So if he's shooting up Bud Light cans from months ago, he's back to it. Can you go back to
it? It's one of those things that's I think for some people it was a what you would call like a knee-jerk reaction. Like it's like, oh, I totally disagree with this. I'm gonna, especially guys like Kid Rock or other big celebrities or people who are famous. They're like, oh, I'm vehemently against this, and I'm gonna, like I said, Kid Rock shooting up the Bud Light cases and stuff like that, and then realizing that but that was his beer beforehand.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I'm not a Bud Light fan. I've never been a Bud Light fan. So
I've never been a big fan either. Yeah.
No, like for me, I always say that Bud Light is the beer for people who don't like the taste of beer, because it doesn't taste like beer. It doesn't really taste like anything. That's just my little opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah, and you're starting to see a couple of the guys that used to drink Bud Light all the time are like, well, that was my go-to, and whatever your go-to is. I mean, like guys like me and Rod J and all the other guys were more into like the craft stuff. But if drinking a macro makes you happy, hey,
do you?
Be you. That's exactly it. And some of the guys that were diehard Bud Light drinkers, especially like I want to, and I don't want to be stereotypical, and I'm really trying not to, and I don't mean it to be that way. But and this is from a totally Canadian standpoint. A lot of the Southern guys who were like, hardworking Americans, the guys who, work in the factories and did all the bullshit. Like that was their beer. And as soon as you mess around with it, like the way that they did, they're like, oh, I can't fucking drink this anymore because that's so un-American and blah, 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 blah. But I mean, if that's your beer and that's your favorite beer, that's your go-to, you're eventually going to go back to it no matter what.
I mean, if that's what I mean, it depending on the scenario and stuff that happens, almost like, if there are people out there that did it and they're waiting for a pass, how can I get back to it? Well, there's like, okay, well, you were mad when Kid Rock did it, but then Kid Rock said, you know what, I'm going back to drinking it. Are you going to go back to drinking it now? Because you're like, oh, well,
right.
Maybe it's all past now, whatever,
And that, and some of that might be like, if you're a big Kid Rock fan, which I am not, by the way, you might be like, oh, Kid Rock's not drinking Bud Light, so I'm not going to drink Bud Light. And that happens absolutely in society, because there's you have that thing where you basically try and emulate your idols or whatever the hell it happens to be. And now that he's drinking Bud Light again, has publicly come out and said, I'm drinking Bud Light again, a lot of those guys would be like, oh, okay, well, if Kid Rock's drinking it, I will drink it. But I can't stand Kid Rock, just so you know. I did a couple of years ago. My entire family, like my wife, my sister-in-law, brother-in-law, actually both brother-in-laws, both sister-in-laws, went to this concert where it was like a Kid Rock concert. And I think there was some guy named Brantley Gilbert. I think that was the guy that opened for him. He was terrible too. Anyway, and I said, I do not want to go to this concert. And they're like, well, we already bought you the ticket, so you have to pay us for it. I'm like, I don't want to go.
I don't got to pay, but I didn't say I wanted to go to first.
No, and here's the one major thing that bugs me about Kid Rock. Okay, in most of his songs, he has to say that, I'm Kid Rock. Like, you know what, motherfucker? I just paid $100 to come and see your concert. I know who you are. You don't have to tell me, or I just paid $25 or $30 for your CD. I know who you are. You don't have to tell me in every single song that you're Kid Rock. And it drives me, and that's the one thing that always driven me nuts about that man. Like, it's every song, it seems to be like, he drops like, hey, it's Kid Rock, blah, blah, blah. Like, I know who you are. Stop.
Just wear a name tag. Wear a name tag makes it a lot easier. You don't have to worry about
like that
name tag on. Yeah.
Yeah, like can you imagine if you did a beer review, Rod J, and you'd be like, you start off like, hey everybody, it's me, Rod J, and I'm drinking this beer. Oh, by the way, I'm Rod J. And so this smells like I'm getting a nice hoppy presence for it. Oh, by the way, I'm Rod J. And I'm going to sit here and have a little sip. You know what? It's got a nice malty presence. It's a little bit hoppy. And in case you didn't know, I'm Rod J. And to me, that's how annoying Kid Rock.
I may do a video like that just because it sounds so.
you should. It's freaking, and it's just like I said. You know, when I'm paying $100, $150 for a ticket to go see a Kid Rock concert, which I didn't want to go to, I know who you are. You do not have to tell me who you are in every single goddamn song that you sing.
Right.
And what was that one famous song he did? It was like Bong with a Thong, Orangutan, Biggie Titties. Like I don't know, whatever the hell he said. I don't know.
That's when he had Joe before Joe died. Yeah. I would say a little person, but it's like it was like Joe DiMaggio, but everybody says they get to say a little person now. But I don't think Joe called himself. I think it was Joe DiMaggio when he did it. So I'm kind of like, you know,
right?
I don't know. Yeah. Again, getting back to what people are using nowadays for words, it's just like I don't know, like you know.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like I said, when I went to that concert, like I said, there was the Brantley Gilbert guy.
Yeah.
Who was like a outlaw kind of country kind of guy. I'd never heard of him before I went and saw the concert. He was the opening act, and I wasn't impressed with him. And then Kid Rock came on, and I'm like I don't want to listen to this guy. Like I don't want to be here. Like
you are, I know who you are already. Yeah,
right. Like I like literally, I'm sitting there with my big can of Bud Light Orange, which is what I had at the concert. Which is actually not too bad. In all fairness,
I don't even know if we have Bud Light Orange here. We have Bud Light Lime. I don't know if we had the orange.
Well, at the concert they had the orange, and I was like, you know what? I'll try it, whatever. And this is before the big Bud Light controversy. I'm like, I'll try that, and it was actually not bad. I didn't mind it. I actually had a couple of them at that concert, but I'm just sitting there drinking on my Bud Light Orange, going, God, this sucks. I'd rather be anywhere but here. Because I just don't like. I'm not saying
you got Bud Light Rita, maybe.
Right. Like I said, I'm not saying that Kid Rock is not talented, and he is. He's a very talented man. Don't get me wrong. It's just not. It's like drinking a sour beer. It's not in my wheelhouse. It's not something I enjoy. So, I still do it.
You gotta know your lanes, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Now, over the past couple of years, I mean, I've kind of starting to very slowly come around to sour beers. There's a couple that I enjoyed. There's a couple that I still don't. But
yeah,
you know.
Well, it's like I know people that first time they had barley wine, it was like no way. And then like 5 years later, they love barley wine, right? So it's a matter of time.
Yeah, that was like me with IPAs.
Depends on your palate matures. Yeah.
So I was the same way with IPAs. When I started drinking IPAs, I hated them. I'm like, oh my God, how do you guys drink this? It's so bitter. And now, you know, if I go into a bar, that's the first thing I order. I'm like, what do you got for IPA? You know.
Well, literally back in the 80s, used to make fun of bitter stuff. We did bitter and beer face with the beer, right? It was the one macro line had the bitter and beer face talking about beer being too bitter, but like now people like the bitter.
Right.
So
yeah, for sure. Exactly.
Yeah. Let's see here. So down in Norfolk, this is Norfolk, Virginia. This is kind of interesting just to see what happens, but a military-themed brewery has been approved, and there's controversy and community criticism. Apparently, one of the owners has said a few things. They don't feel like it's an all-inclusive type. It'll be interesting to see how it goes because there's also some that feel like the military are being kind of used out there kind of to promote it, although it's not very military-like. So it's always interesting when you kind of put something like this. And when you mentioned the South, like thing, in some of the southern states, there's definitely more of a military. It's not that the North is less, but I think you see it more in the South. So some people feel like, are you trying to just build something off of the military? Where I think the guy that's actually the head person for here actually was former military, but as he's trying to explain, now it's going to have this or that. But one of the other people that put some stuff out there, like on Twitter, like everybody, like people put out. I love when people put stuff on Twitter, and they're like, "Oh, I just go ahead and delete it." Like, no, it doesn't work that way. I say Twitter, but X nowadays.
Right, whatever.
Once it's out there, somebody captures it, it's there forever. Like you just like that's why you just put the 10-second rule. You type something, think 10 seconds before you actually hit the enter before you post it, just to make sure you want to post it out there. But
I don't quite understand what's the because I'm not familiar with this particular topic. Like what's the controversy around the military themed brewery?
One of the guys, I guess, one of the part of the group or whatever, I think was saying stuff about anti like LGBT or some other type issues where it wasn't as I want to say diverse or inclusive as it should be coming into the area. Norfolk is a very military based city. And so there's also a feeling for some of the people there that are trying to pawn military to get people to go to the brewery. So it's not like it's something of a military type thing as much as it's being put out there. So they had like a vote. It was like 6-1 on the vote, but there are people in the community that were kind of not for this brewery actually coming in because of some of the things they had saw.
Right.
It's the mixed bag you get. Here in the States, you get a lot of mixed type stuff, and it's kind of like anytime you get the military involved, it's always going to be something. It's like, here, like in our sporting events, they had the planes fly over some of the games and all that kind of stuff, and they'll play the anthem. Well, it wasn't until like 2005, I think, or 2006, they started playing the anthem at the sporting events. It was kind of following 9/11. Before that, if they did it, it was like the teams would stay in the locker rooms, or they would kind of do like it wasn't even really played that much. And then the NFL got a bunch of money to be able to do that at the games. So then from that point forward, it became like, are we kind of buying military allegiance, I guess you could say, from people across? So it's kind of been like a counter military type thing versus the pro, and it's kind of set up this thing. So this brewery kind of falls along those lines. Is it really a military type thing, or are they kind of just trying to get something based off the military and kind of using them as a pawn for this situation? So it's interesting to see, like I say, because Norfolk is that kind of military community. There was another one that ran into some issues, and like Florida said, well, bring your brewery down here, we'll go ahead and support it down here type thing too. So it's just, whenever you have that in there, it's always an interesting take on it. But I think most of like, we're like, I think most Americans are pro-military as far as support and all that kind of stuff and everything like that. Because obviously, I don't want to go fight a war. So I'm always happy. I don't say happy. I'm always gratified when other people decide they want to go into the military to do that. So I don't have to do that. Like, I don't want it to be like Israel, where everybody has to go in like age 18 into the military. You know what I mean? So you have people that can voluntarily do that. So I'm always gratified when they actually do that. So it's just an interesting thing, and we'll see what ends up happening. But in the end, it might just all blow over. But then, maybe it might be like, oh, we got protests out here. You look on there, it's like 5 people. Like, that's not really a protest. Like,
yeah, it was only 5 people. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So it's like, we'll see. But it's just kind of one of those things to kind of keep an eye on and kind of see how it goes.
Yeah, and it's funny because like if there was a military themed bar up here that was like very military, and it's not as prevalent obviously in Canada as it is in the U.S. I'd be keen to go there. I mean, I'm always a big advocate for military because I mean you got all these men and women that, a lot of them put their lives on the line for the protection of your country, and that's basically what they're doing. So I would have no problem going into a military themed breweries, especially if they were supporting like the military, like, hey, all military personnel get 50% off of their beer, which they deserved as far as I'm concerned. What, you're doing a lot of work, even if you're not on the front lines or you've never seen action overseas or anything like that. You're always prepared to do it. And like I said, especially for the American military, like you guys are second to none as far as military goes. In the world, and everybody in the world absolutely knows that. Whereas Canada, we have our one plane and our 2 canoes, which we call battleships, and we go and like, hey, we're gonna send some doctors over and help you guys out because Canada's pretty fucking useless as far as military goes. That's just my opinion, of course. But yeah, I would totally be down with a military themed brewery, and I would go and support that brewery, like whether it be. Even if it was just across the border in Niagara Falls, New York, say I would go over there just especially if they had a thing where, hey, every beer 5 cents goes to the VA or whatever. I'd go for that because I have more than enough respect for any military personnel, whatever doesn't even matter what country they come from. Like, you guys are putting your lives on the line every single day, basically.
Yeah, and I think that's what with Norfolk and the community down there is kind of like, when you're in that, foxhole, that person's watching your back, and like whoever that person is, you don't care as long as they watch your back, right? So they don't want somebody coming in where they're going to discriminate against any type of people, because in war it doesn't matter what that person is as long as you guys are watching each other's back.
Right.
So I think some of that was part of it. Some comments that have been put out there by one of the co-owners or founders, and that's where kind of raised some issue there. So, and then again, the other part was the whole, are you just trying to make money off of military when you're not really military type thing? So it's interesting.
Yeah, well, and that's a tricky part too, right? Like if you have, like you said, like a military themed brewery, like are you just using like the military as like a, hey, you know, come in because we're like, oh, and again, I'm going strictly by like a Canadian view of an American viewpoint, because the Americans are very big on their military and very proud of their country and stuff like that. So, and a lot of guys would go into this brewery going, oh, it's, you know, supporting the military, yeah, go USA, you know. And but if it's not, if the United States military isn't reaping even just a small portion of the benefits of it, and it's just all going in the owners' pockets, and they're like, hey, we're going to do this angle because we're going to make a lot of money off you guys thinking we're military, you know, then that's a completely different story.
Yeah, and so that could be, you know, part of it. So we'll see what happens with it. And like I said, you know, there's stuff that some of these breweries will do, and they'll launch beers to support military personnel, and I always share their stuff on the channel as well when I see that kind of stuff happening, because, you know, that's good things to have. You know, some things, like I said, you know, it's the gratitude of them actually serving. So you go to Norfolk, like I said, it's one of the hot military areas in the country. You know, you better be going all out and type stuff. So it'll be interesting. Almost in Canada. It was actually in northern Maine, but it was heading towards Canada. Tractor trailer full of beer catches fire, $9.85. That had to be a weird type situation. So it showed the truck going up the highway and then caught fire. And one of the cars that saw what was happening, trying to get the fire extinguisher, saying the truck's on fire, and they pulled over, but the fire started going everywhere. And so they tried to get out, they get the people out, the driver, the other driver, all kind of stuff, and they ended up putting it out. But they were like trying to see if the beer was salvageable. I'm like, I'm pretty sure if there was a fire on the truck like that, from what I saw, that beer was re-fermented again. I don't think you would have tried to sell that to anybody.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Well, you got to try and preserve that profit margin, right? No matter what, you know.
But then I thought about, like, we usually see trucks when they crash and there's like beer all over the highway. That kind of beer people will pick up and take home. Do you take home beer that's been in a fire? I mean, it's still free beer if you can get it, but I don't know about what.
Exactly. And that's just so funny. I haven't seen that, but I'm going to look that after the live. I'm going to look that up. So I'm going to look up that story and see if there's some video or something like that of it.
Yeah. And then a couple other ones here. Carlsberg. So I don't know if you heard like some of the stuff we talked about in the past, but Carlsberg, basically their brewery was in Russia, and Putin pulled the most Suge Knight gangster move anybody could pull. He pretty much took the brewery over for $1, the whole brewery for like $1, and kind of kicked them out of Russia. So the CEO plans to continue hiking beer prices to expand in Asia. So they tried to offset what was stolen in Russia. So now they're going to charge the Asians more than they need to charge them, so they can try to recoup some of their costs back, which is hilarious. Like, but I'm like, you're Carlsberg. How far are people going to pay for your beer? It's not like you're setting the world on fire with your beers.
Right. It's like it's not Hot Butcher, for God's sakes, you know, or Alchemist or any of these amazing breweries that they have down there. Like, holy crap. Just like, cut your losses and freaking move on. I mean, seriously.
But I got to say, Putin is the most Suge Knight of any politician we have. He just pretty much went in there and muscled them out like for $1 and took over their breweries. So Suge Knight's in prison. He'd be proud. So, yeah.
For sure.
And Melbourne Brewing, they announced a new Jackson Hole lager. I'm going to share that because Melbourne Brewing does a lot of really good beer. So I'm kind of interested to see how they do with the lager they just released as well. So if you ever get a chance to check out Melbourne Brewing, they are worth checking out for their brews as well. So,
okay, super.
And then we got Sam. Sam is in the house now. Good day. Brilliant day for a beer. I'm currently at a brand new brewery in Melbourne. You missed our story I had, Sam. I was looking for you earlier when I was here. I don't know. There's a brewery you have. If you didn't see it, Sam, let me go back over here. It's in Melbourne, I believe. Yeah, Kiwi Brewery. If you go to Kiwi Brewery, they have their first vending machine that you can actually play guitar to get a free beer. So, Sam, you're there in Australia. If you can actually do this on the spot and let us know how it goes, that would be freaking awesome. You should shoot some video.
Literally, do a video, dude. Do a video because I would love to see that shit. And it's good to see you, Sam, by the way. Cheers.
You're the only person I have over there in Australia right now. So I'm just saying, if you're looking for remote work to go do a job somewhere, go do this video. I don't know what I can pay you. Maybe I can get you some American beers or something like that. But I'd be curious to see how it is to actually play the guitar at that brewery. That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be super cool. I would love to see somebody do that.
Yeah.
Like I said, video that stuff, Sam, and either send it to Rod J, or if you really need to, send it to me. Yeah, because that would be just an amazing video to have up there, just for something really super cool.
Yeah. Sam says stop you one, and I can't get a craft for back for under 30. So.
Yeah. See, Sam knows my pain because the Australian and Canadian prices are actually pretty similar. As far and that's just from talking to Mad Dan from the Anglers Grog. But yeah, we pay a gajillion dollars more than you guys do in beer every single year, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Where you're at, it makes sense. I mean, I know you're limited, right, on what you can bring back, but if you can go into New York and get beer and bring it back, it works out better for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely, for sure.
Obviously, beer taxes are death, right?
Yeah. I'm with you, buddy. Same thing in Canada. Exact same thing.
Cheers, Josh. Last beer in the house. Another great channel for y'all to check out. Josh is drinking a Dr. Lecter from Bob Brew and have not heard of them. There you go. Josh is actually, I need to meet Josh. Josh isn't too far from me. Josh is in Virginia, so now I'm in Maryland. It's not actually too far, so we need to try to connect with him because we both talk about from time to time. I have a Commonwealth, or I'll see he has a Commonwealth in their brewery out of Virginia.
All right, well, I got you on my list there, Josh. I will be subscribing after the live for sure.
Cheers. Yeah. Josh does some pretty good stuff. He does some pretty good lives and everything too, and gets the crew over in his channel and stuff too. So yeah, but no, this is great. I'm into my third beer, and the third beer is definitely kicking in with the Chocolate Volcano right now. So,
we got a Chocolate Volcano. Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah,
anytime you have a name like Chocolate Volcano, I mean, you're in for a good treat.
I'll give you the read down here. Our Chocolate Volcano Stout has been bourbon barrel aged for a massive eruption of delicious flavors, overflowing with decadent notes of chocolate and vanilla. This limited release brew will melt your taste buds with a lava flow of velvety richness. 10.3% ABV.
Nice.
So there you go. It's a nice little write-up. It's not a great PSA. It's not like a PSA. I don't know if you heard last week we did Smokey and the Bear, but this is an actual commercial. So if you didn't hear it, let me know your thought. Let me know your thoughts, because as I hear it now, 83, 93, 03, 50 years later. Wow, did I just say that out loud? Right. Definitely a different connotation than when I was a kid. But take a listen, Shane. Let me know what you think of this commercial.
Okay.
I know a place that's peaceful and quiet. A place where animals play. It's called the forest. But every year we start forest fires. A careless match or cigarette and poof, fire. So the next time you're in the forest, be extra careful, okay?
If you knew it was me, would you have listened?
What do you think? Does that sound like a PSA?
It kind of does, for sure.
That was the Smokey and the Bear, Bear commercial back in the day. You remember Smokey the Bear?
Yep.
Forest fires. We have him.
Yep.
That was like during the porn 70s or something with that commercial in my mind. As I hear it now, Because I feel like at the end before he talks, he's pulling his sheet over, like laughing, like after they just had sex or something, like
right, yeah,
they had sex,
for sure.
They had sex, and it's like, here's a great idea. We should do a PSA about spires, and then she does the PSA, and then he laughs like when was this crafted? Did you do this like after you did? Now you can, hey, let's do a PSA, as you're sitting there smoking a cigarette, kind of, and then they're like, okay, we'll record and we'll send it out, like, yeah. That was just kind of interesting, but that was growing up in the 70s, which I know you know about too. So
sure, absolutely, yeah. Hey, thanks for aging me, Rod. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that.
So I don't know if I should be aroused or be worried about fires. I don't know where I'm at right now. I don't know what's happening.
Right. Exactly. And maybe that was their thinking when they did that. They're like, hey, because hey, sex sells. Sex sells for sure. That's why I mean, I know we don't have any beer. I don't know what it's like in the States. We don't have any beer commercials up here in Canada anymore
at all. Like no, like there's no, like just regular Bud Light or anything, or is it just?
Yeah, but they're super rare, and they're very regimented on what they can show and what they can say and what they can do. Yeah, because it's not like you can have like some hot chick like, oh look at me, I have this beer in between my bosoms. Oh, don't you want some Bud Light? There's none of that anymore. Like we used to be able to do back in the day. That's for sure.
Yeah, I should bring back some of that. We did that for a while, showing some old beer commercials back in the day, and they were like, yeah, definitely more risque than what you have nowadays for sure. Yeah.
Like I know I get a lot of notifications. I honestly don't watch his channel a whole lot, and I feel like such a dick. There's a channel called This Guy's Thoughts.
Yeah, that's Jay. I actually connected with Jay Dayton a while back. Yeah.
He does a lot of the vintage beer commercials every once in a while. He'll post them up.
Yeah.
Which are kind of interesting just to see, what it was like. Like I always loved the old Colt 45 commercials with Billy D. Williams.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, dude, he was like the coolest, smoothest guy like ever. Like, hey, I got a Colt 45. You might not have a better time without a Colt 45, but why take chances? Or whatever his little slogan thing was there for Colt 45.
Time, yeah.
Which actually, Colt 45 is actually out of I've only tried maybe half a dozen or maybe 8 or 10 malt liquors, but Colt 45 is actually my favorite malt liquor I've tried so far.
Really?
Yeah. And again, I have to go with my limited Canadian market, right? So, but I don't mind Colt 45. It's all right.
I thought I should do a malt liquor series. Like we've done some type of malt liquor stuff before on some of the shows, but we have Colt 45, we have like Schlitz and the Bulls, and we have some other stuff, Mickey's, Big Mouth, and things like that. We have different ones down here, but that would be kind of an interesting twist to do to the channel, just like the malt liquor type stuff.
Yeah, just do an entire week of malt liquors or something, right?
I don't know if my liver would appreciate that or not, but it is something of an opportunity.
There you go. Monday night malt liquors. You could do it like a regular series every Monday night malt liquors.
Well, my liver would be like, what are you doing down here? Like, we got Dee Dee in the house who was out there lurking. Only you can prevent forest fires. They named him Smokey for a reason. Yeah. That's the only time I've heard Smokey talking to Barry White voice. I'm just saying, of all the Smokey and the Bear commercials I remember, it definitely wasn't that deep until then. And that deepness was like usually like after you got a little something. You know what I mean? It was just like you're feeling good.
Exactly. Exactly, for sure.
Oh, what an era that we grew up in, for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
So before we wrap up here, because we usually try to wrap up here by 11 or so, but with your channel, Shane, like, what do you got upcoming on your stuff so people know they can check out?
So my channel, for anybody who doesn't know, is Shane's Craft Beer Review. That's my main channel. Right now, I'm in the middle of doing an advent calendar from Brock Street Brewing. So that's been a 24-day ordeal, and God, I'm still not even done. And God, I will never do another advent calendar ever. Just so you guys know, it's a lot of work, which I will explain later on. But I also have a second channel called Friday Night Live Drinks with Shane. This is a little live that I started doing just a couple weeks ago, where I have one special guest on every single week, and we sit and chat about whatever. I believe Rod J, sorry, this side, is booked in for January the 12th. So don't forget to check out that one. Yeah, so I got 2 channels. Like I said, Shane's Craft Beer Review, Friday Night Drinks with Shane. I'm doing the Advent calendar right now. Yeah, come check it out. Give it a little subscribe. Take a look. If you don't like it, that's okay. What do you expect from a Canadian guy? I mean, I'm up here in the frozen friggin' tundra of Canada, where I gotta walk my pet moose every goddamn day. And if you've ever tried to walk a pet moose, like, it's not an easy task, because these guys are like 10 feet tall and weigh like 2,000 pounds. It's and I'm a small guy, so it can be difficult at the best of times. That's for sure.
Yeah, so if y'all checked out Shane, make sure to check Shane out. Shane's got a great channel, so some fun over there for sure. And kids, yeah, I'll pop over for some stuff there too. And who do you got tomorrow for your live stream?
Actually, I have no live stream tomorrow night.
Okay.
Tomorrow is actually my wife's birthday, so I'm skipping my live stream tomorrow night. But usually it's every Friday night between 5 and 10 Eastern. With the exception of this week, because if I did a live stream tomorrow, my wife would kill me.
Priorities, right? Happy birthday to Mrs. Shane. Yeah,
that's right. There we go.
Todd says, "Cheers, all. Sorry, couldn't make it right." I'm sorry. Will you stop apologizing, Todd? It's good. It's good. We had a great time tonight.
But does Todd live in Canada? Is that his problem?
I feel like it.
He,
I feel.
I think maybe Todd's Canadian, and he's a closet Canadian. That's the problem with Todd. He's a closet Canadian. He's really a Canadian inside, but he doesn't really want to come out of the closet and let everybody know that he's Canadian.
I feel like for Todd, who has no YouTube channel, he almost is more dedicated to me that has a YouTube channel. Like, he really feels bad he couldn't make it, which is great, because we love having Todd on. I love having me and Todd go back years now, but it's kind of it's okay. I told him, he's like, well, is Mal going to be there? I'm like, no, but it's all right. I'm going to have Shane pop in, a couple of people. We had Ray earlier. We had Dave swing by. I keep trying to get him to do a channel, but he's not ready to go there yet. But because he could do a great grilling channel, I think so.
For sure, yeah, he'd be great. And hey, don't worry, Todd. I got your ass covered tonight, buddy. I'm there for you. I am there for you. Yeah, I'm there for you, Todd. Don't worry. I'll cover your ass. I'll cover Shannon's ass as well. I got you guys covered. Don't worry.
Mate. But they don't say mate. They don't say mate in Canada. That's England.
No, it's or Australian even.
Or Australia.
Canada, it's buddy.
Now notice Todd the bastard.
Todd, come on, Todd's okay. Don't be
everybody's
mean to him like
Todd
that.
now.
Todd's okay.
Oh, Todd, you're solid. Stop. Although people do love to see Shannon. Shannon now shines us all. When Shannon's here, it's just like I said.
See, now that's who needs to have her own channel.
Yeah.
That's who needs to have her own channel is Shannon.
When Shannon shows up, we're just all background players. It's Shannon and the Pips when she's here. So
yeah, for sure. Shannon definitely needs to have her even if she does like once a week, like Shannon's Saturday night beer review or something. Yeah, for sure.
Well, she was going to go with Shit Show Shannon, but the censors weren't too proud of that. So yeah.
Well, you can change it somehow, I'm sure. There's got to be something.
A little star asterisk or something there, but yeah, Shannon would be great on entertainment. Just to see her have a channel with her take on things. Like, it would be hilarious to watch her just pull up stuff in the local things that are happening and just give her a response to them. She'd be awesome
for sure.
At it. Yeah.
And you know what the best part would be is every once in a while, and I mean very rarely, she might let Todd on the live stream that she does or the video. It's like, no, this is my show, bitch. Like, you just move, Todd. You just move along over here because I'm way more popular than you are. I love you. Don't get me wrong, Todd. I love you. You're a great guy. Honestly.
Everybody's like, oh, I'll play golf with you anytime, Todd. Would you though, Dee? Would you? Yeah, everybody's just joshing with them there. So yeah,
for sure.
great stuff there for sure.
Absolutely, yeah, great guy.
Yeah, but as the weekend approaches, and some of you guys will be heading out to some of the breweries, walk in, head up, chin down, stand tall, and you just let them know when you get into the brewery.
Fans, welcome you back, man. First of all, I would like to thank the many fans throughout this country. I admit I don't look like the athlete of the day supposed to look. My belly's just a little big. My hand is just a little big. But, brother, I am bad, and they know I'm bad. I want you at home to know my hand is touching your hand for this gathering of the biggest body of people in this country, in this universe, all over the world now, reaching out because the love that was given me, and this time I will repay you now. Love you.
And you order that IPA proudly.
Right, exactly. Exactly. That's how you do it, right?
I think I'm gonna walk in a brewery and do that. I'm gonna go word for word, just like Dusty Rose there.
That's it. You should do. That'd be awesome. I want to be there to film that crap. I mean, that'd be awesome for sure.
Sometimes I just got home, so no one wants to see this shit. So I don't know. Shit shows sell well. We can get you up here for a few minutes.
Yep.
But no, it was great. It was great to have you on, Shane, as well, and great for everybody that tuned in.
For sure.
Next week, like I mentioned, I think we're doing a Christmas beer thing. So if you want to join us next week, let me know. We'll be basically, I know Mal was pumped up. Hopefully Mal is over everything from being sick today and the last few days, but whatever Christmas type beers, winter ales, winter warmers, whatever. Somebody might have celebration or something, this is the Christmas type stuff. And then hard to believe, but the following week will be a new year upon us, right? So
I know, that's so crazy. Like this year flew by so fast.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm kind of debating on doing like a live stream the following week. Like that. I've never done like a New Year bash type thing. And it probably wouldn't be that. It might be like that Thursday or the weekend before, because I got to figure out what we're doing for New Year's Eve. But I'm thinking about putting together a live stream, which would be like a beer, whiskey, wine, whatever bash, and just have people come in. We'll drink, we'll talk about fun, we'll play music, we'll do different stuff. So I'm thinking about putting something together, which would be like the weekend of the 29th or whatever. So I have to figure out what we're doing, because the New Year's Eve is that Sunday. So maybe I do it that Saturday kind of ahead of time, because people might be out that New Year's Eve. I don't know. We'll see. But I was kind of kicking. I was on the treadmill earlier today, thinking like, you know what? I've never done something like that. So let's maybe do something like that and just have like a fun time, and just, if people want to hang out and have some drinks and do something. You're right. Nobody does it like Dusty. R.I.P. to Dusty Rose as well.
Right.
Oh, we got Malkin in the house. Cheers.
Ooh, hey Josh, how are you, buddy? Cheers.
It was the American dream. You are right. Thanks for holding it down, Shane. Todd says, yeah.
I do the best I can. I'm not as good as you, Todd. I mean, I'm not on this channel obviously as much as I probably should be, but I hope I did a decent job and did you proud, buddy, for sure.
Everything was all good all over. It was a good time. It's all about having fun, and
for sure.
We like to mix it up so we can surprise the people, and the people don't know what's actually coming their way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For sure.
But that being said, we'll go ahead and get this one all wrapped up. Thanks for everybody that tuned in. Thanks to Shane. Follow him, Shane's Craft Beer Reviews. Follow Ray and Paul, the Alkanauts. Ray was here earlier. And then Dave, Beer in Front. Make sure to check him out as well. Great channels, great fun, great time as always. If you caught the tail end of this, good thing about YouTube, you can go back and watch it, or you can actually check it out on the podcast as well. If you're actually doing other things, you just want to play it on the podcast, you can hear that in the background, but you won't get the video, so you might want to watch. I'm just saying,
That's true.
Yeah,
that's
true. I although I have a face for radio, I'm just saying you might want to watch the video, because
No, you want to watch the video. I mean, Rod J. I mean, you got to see him live. You got to see him live for sure. You got to see the video.
All those bars, Shane versus. Maybe next week we have a Feats of Strength with Shane and Todd. Just like go Seinfeld, Feats of Strength.
For Festivus, right? That's
yeah. Festivus.
When is it? Oh, I think that actually coincides because I think is that the 21st or the 22nd? I think is actually Festivus. It's actually the 21st or the 22nd. So that would be the
the 21st Thursday for the Festivus. Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking. I can't remember if it's Festivus is actually the 21st or the 22nd. It's either one. I don't remember which one it is. I'd have to look it up online.
Well, there you go. So it could be the Festivus for the rest of us. But that being said, we started with Dusty. So why don't we end with Dusty? Catch y'all next week, if not before. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, guys.
Stables.
Yeah, I'm looking for a horseman.
A horseman?
A horseman goes by the name of Rick.
Not here.
Are you a horseman?
I could be. What can I do for you?
Friday night, you can see me at War Games. Bring all your horsemen, because I will have Moondog Spot, Moondog Rex, and the Monkey Brothers. Yeah, I'm looking for a horseman goes by the name of Rick Flair.
Don't know him.
Could I leave a message?
I guess.
All right, write this down. Tell him it's Big Dust.
Okay.
The American Dream.
Okay.
Tell him to meet me Friday night, Starcade.
Meet you at the Starcade.
Yeah, Starcade, Friday night.
I don't know what you're wasting your time for.
Is this Baby Doll? Baby Doll, I know that was you Jezebel! Hello, I'm looking for some horsemen.
I've got plenty. How many you need?
4.
4 horsemen.
Yes, sir. This Big Dust calling on behalf of Crocker Promotions.
Can't hardly understand what you're saying, but...
Sorry, I got a little bit of a lisp. What about Chris Benoit? Oh, he did. Sorry.
No, I don't really know what you're talking about.
Is this J.J. Dillon's?
No.
Don't lie to me, JJ's. You and I go way back, Jack.
Well, it ain't JJ. You got the wrong person.
Don't mess with the American dream, JJ. My eyes are open as big as silver dollars, Jack.
Well, you got the wrong guy.
You and I, JJ, leather strap match. Dustin Rhodes is the master of the strap match. JJ Dillon, you a yellow dog.